MEC Vas to lead the Northern Cape Province presentation. Then the Cape local municipality will also present. Then we'll allow the KZN Province to lead the presentation, and then Umdoni Reinkonyeni Inkosi Ilanga Valele, Alfred Duma, the Big Five Bay, Clavisa, Umtlatuze, Umtonja Neni, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma municipalities will also present. Then we will have discussions. In fact, let's do it this way. We'll first deal with the Northern Cape presentation, have discussions, we release them, then deal with the KZN, have discussions, then thereafter we are going to also release the colleagues from KZN. Then I need to deal with apologies, as I've said. Let me start with the HOD Tuvane. As you have heard him, colleagues, is driving. He was in Dundee, going back to Durban. But then there's a delegation of the, which is led by DDG Mdanane. We've seen Wuskelo Duma and others, they are here. Then Deputy Minister Wapela is outside the country. He's on an international diplomatic trip in Venezuela. We've received his written apology. And then Deputy Minister Tau, also he is engaged on Salga business. Then we've also received a written apology of Minister Dlamini Zuma. She's also held up in an engagement in official business that was prior arranged. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you, MEC Vas, together with your entire delegation from the Northern Cape Province. Also to welcome the senior management team from the KZN provincial government, together with the delegation of municipalities that are affected from the KwaZulu-Natal province. You will recall, majority of us colleagues, this meeting, it's a continuation of the meeting that we held on the 13th of November 2020, wherein we started a process of having a more systematic discussion on the issue of amalgamated municipality. The blunder that we did that day was to schedule you for the same day, but I should think those of you who couldn't present that day, you could have learned a lot, and then that will have given you an opportunity to also improve your presentation. This is happening after we'd had numerous interactions with the various municipalities, where ourselves as a committee, we observe instances of poor support to amalgamated municipalities, which contributed significantly to your financial service delivery and governance challenges. Yesterday, as the committee, we resumed the process with presentations from Northwest and Gauteng provincial government on the measures of Tlokwe and Ventersdorp, as well as Randfontein and Western area, resulting in the formation of JB Marks and Rand West City local municipalities, respectively. One of the amalgamation challenges highlighted in the KwaZulu-Natal presentation relates to the fact that the allocated budget is often not responsive to the demands of the amalgamation. For example, if you look at Reinkonyeni, It received 7 additional wards from the disestablished Ezinkolo in a local municipality, and yet the equitable share allocation did not increase to match the cost of providing services to the additional wards. You also look at Umdoni, it also took over 60% of the wards from Vula Metro, and yet its equitable share allocation does not reflect this additional responsibility. Another challenge relates to unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure incurred while the merged municipalities were still separate. The disestablishment of the responsible entity before the resolution of the unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure matters presents special difficulties to the committee in terms of extracting accountability and the consequence management, as there is no one to hold accountable. This also presents a problem for the new amalgamated entity as it inherits unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure and becomes vulnerable to poor audit outcomes. This is again evident in Umdoni, which is still struggling with the 100 million irregular expenditure inherited from the merger with Vulamet. A merger with a financially irresponsible municipality will always tend to regress rather than improve the audit outcomes of the new entity. The presentation by the KZN COCTA further illustrates this with the case of Inkosi Langalibalele, which has been receiving consecutive disclaimers and adverse audit opinions due to prior year findings from the former Umches municipality, which has since merged with Imbambazane to form Inkosi Langalibalele. Coming to your province, MEC first, the case of David Kraper in the Northern Province, in the Northern Cape, on the other hand, illustrates that the success of amalgamation process hinges on ensuring that the prospective candidates for the amalgamation are not dysfunctional, financially or otherwise. This is also one of the few measures that received qualified support from National Treasury. However, even in David Kraper, the amalgamation has brought unintended consequences because it resulted in the municipality having some of the biggest wards in the country and thus increasing the cost of service delivery. With these few words, I want to welcome all of you. You will recall we had received a presentation then from SALGA nationally on all these municipalities. The Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, DCOC in particular, also including the presentation that we got from National Treasury in relation to this municipality. This is a continuation of the meeting that we started then on the 13th of November. With these few words, MEC Vas, I would like to hand over to you maybe to deal with the overview, and also you decide who should do the presentation on behalf of the province.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and honorable members of the committee, also the officials present in this meeting. I think, Honorable Chairperson, from the side of the Department of Costa and the Northern Cape, we are really grateful and thankful for this opportunity to present to the committee the state of the municipality of David Kraper. It used to be Karais municipality before the amalgamation, but it's now David Kraper municipality after amalgamation of the municipalities, the two municipalities. Although we experience a number of serious challenges relating to the state of our municipalities across our province in terms of service delivery, and I think there's a number of challenges that we will outline in the presentation in terms of the new municipality. But what we are going to do, Honorable Chairperson, with your permission, I'm going to give over to the official. We are three. It's the acting HOD, Ms. Ikera Kalaka, who are part of the meeting, as well as Mr. Bradley Swartland, who's going to take us through the detailed report, and then we'll take it from there. So with your permission, Honorable Chairperson, let me give over to Mr. Bradley Swartland to take us through the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, MEC. Can you share the presentation? And also, can I urge with the presenter to also then put his video on as he's presenting? I'm informed by the parliamentary communication team that you are live on the channel.
Yes,
Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and Honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable MECs present, Honorable Councillors, colleagues, all protocol observed. This is the presentation, Chair. Can we move to the next slide? This slide deals with the content, which I'm not going to go through. The purpose of the presentation is to appraise the PC on the sustainable viability of the amalgamation of Karaheis and Meer municipalities into the David Kruiper municipality. Next slide. The background: the Department of Koksta made recommendation to the Municipal Demarcation Board and the National Minister of Kokta to amalgamate Meer and Karaheis municipalities as the continued sustainability of the Meer municipality was at risk. The MDB embarked on a public participation process based on the recommendation, which culminated in the decision to redetermine the boundaries of the aforementioned municipalities, and this was gazetted in the province, in the Provincial Gazette dated 7th of July 2015. The process started to disestablish the two municipalities and to start the process of forming the new municipal entity, which needed to be operational after the 2016 local government elections, which was held on the 3rd of August 2016. To this end, a Provincial Gazette was published on the 12th of November 2015, providing the framework in order that the preparatory work that needs to be done to establish new entity NC 087. Next slide, please. In terms of the management of the process, Honorable Chair, the department appointed a provincial transitional facilitator that was the project manager for the amalgamation process. The PTF developed a project plan aligned to the guidelines outlined by the National Department of Kokta. 7 municipal task teams were established to deal with the IDP, institutional matters, finance, HR, communication, legal, and technical matters, which met on a bi-weekly basis. And these 7 task teams were chaired by senior managers of the ZFM district municipality. Task teams were represented from both municipalities, Salga Northern Cape, and the relevant provincial departments. The task teams reported to the Municipal Technical Transitional Management Committee, chaired by the district municipality's municipal manager, which in turn reported to the Municipal Political Transitional Management Committee, chaired by the executive mayor of the district, coordinated by the Provincial Transitional Management Committee, reporting to the National Transition Management Committee. The MTTMC and the MPTMC had representation of the municipal union SAMU and IMATU. Next slide. The success of the amalgamation process was proper management of the process and hands-on approach of the provincial transitional facilitator. Municipalities that were to be amalgamated were not dysfunctional. Karaheis and Meer was good performing municipalities. Consultation with stakeholders, including municipal employees, and a promise that no jobs would be shed. Consultation with unions and the establishment of a joint labor forum, a local labor forum. And unions were an integral part of the Technical Transition Management Committee, as well as the Political Transitional Management Committee. When the process commenced, directives were issued not to fill any vacant posts on the organogram or to do any transfers of personnel whilst the process was unfolding. The dedication of the municipal task team members who worked tirelessly regular reporting and hands-on management of challenges that were faced. All processes were sanctioned and signed off by the relevant structures set up to manage the transition and amalgamation, and then support provided by the MECs responsible for local government and finance in the province, as well as support provided by the Provincial Executive Committee led by the Premier. Next slide. In terms of performance, pre-amalgamation, Karaheis was a fully functional municipality with its seat in Uppington with 14 wards and 27 councillors, 13 which were PR councillors. Meer was a functional municipality with its seat in Grootmeer, Rietfontein, with 4 wards and 7 councillors, 3 of them were PR. Post-amalgamation, the seat of the David Kruiper municipality was agreed to be Uppington, which was the old Karaheis facility, with 31 councillors and an executive mayoral system. And the Meer office, as per the agreement, became a satellite office with a satellite office manager. In terms of the municipal name change process, the name change process was done in collaboration with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, following the legal prescripts, including public participation processes and consultation with the family of the late David Kruiper. This process culminated in the gazetting of the new name of the municipality in the Provincial Gazette. In terms of the IDP and budget processes, both municipalities completed the public participation processes individually for the 2015-2016 IDP and budget processes, and these were adopted by the 2 municipal councils. And from that process, from the 2 approved IDPs and budgets, a draft IDP and draft budget process unfolded in order to present to the new council of David Kruiper for the consultation process to unfold as soon as the new municipality was inaugurated. In terms of finances, these were the finances for the 2 municipalities pre the amalgamation. You will see that Karaheis had a total income of 415 million, and then Meer municipality had an income of just over 4.2 million. The next slide, Chair, shows that in the 2016-17 financial year, the total income for David Kruiper was 337, which showed a remarkable downward spiral in terms of income in the first year, and then in the next financial year, 2017-18, it jumped up by about 40,000 to 371 million. Next slide. In terms of the audit outcomes, pre-amalgamation, Karaheis had an unqualified with matters for the 2015-16 financial year, and Meer had a qualified opinion with matters. Now, David Kruiper post-amalgamation, 2016-17, was unqualified with matters, 2017-18 unqualified with matters, and 2018-19 unqualified with matters. Next slide. In terms of MIC performance, Karaheis had a 2015-16 total MIC allocation of 22.58 million, and the total expenditure was 11.4 or 51%. Meer had a total allocation of 6.78, and they had a total expenditure of 100%. Additional reallocated funds in 2015-16 was 6.1 million to the Meer municipality. In terms of David Kruiper, in the 16-17 financial year, MIC allocation total was 27.1 million, and the total expenditure was 100%. In the 17-18, the total MIC allocation was 25.4. It was then revised to 19.6 million, and the total expenditure was just over 63% in that financial year. In the 2018-19 financial year, the allocation was 24.6 million, and then the allocation was revised to 19.7, and the total expenditure was 93% in that financial year. In terms of HR matters, all senior manager posts were filled prior to the amalgamation. Meer municipal manager post was vacant, and all other posts were filled. Initially, there were no staff transfer due to the cost factor, and then the former Meer 656 managers would then report to the 656 manager of David Kruiper and would operate from the satellite offices with no reduction in benefits. A joint organogram for the new municipality was developed and signed off by the joint local labor forum, the technical transition management committee, as well as the political transitional management committee. And part of the signed agreement with the joint LLF is that the work would continue post the amalgamation in terms of the development of job descriptions, as well as embarking on the process of the job evaluation. terms of the next slide, in terms of legal matters, all legal matters were considered, including but not limited to cases and contractual obligations of both institutions at the time. Both municipalities had bylaws in place. The proclamation of the new municipality made provision for legal succession, and the process to develop a new set of bylaws commenced, but would be finalized post-amalgamation in order that all processes could unfold, including public participation and the gazetting of the bylaws. The new bylaws for the municipality was developed, adopted, and gazetted. Next slide. In terms of communication matters pre-amalgamation, there was radio talk shows by both mayors and councillors of both municipalities to inform the community around amalgamations and to ask any related questions. There were newspaper articles on the amalgamation, a community competition to suggest a design for the branding and logo of the new municipality, and the winning design became the logo of the new municipality, as you will see later when they present, Honourable Chair. And then ward meetings to brief and discuss the amalgamation and to ensure that communities are informed. And post-amalgamation, the new municipal policy and communication, as well as legal prescripts, were followed. Next slide. In terms of the geographic challenges, the criterion applied by the MDBS legislated, as well as the demographics of especially the former Meer municipality, there was an unintended consequence of the amalgamation was that Ward 11 and 16 geographically became some of the biggest wards in the country. David Kruiper municipality covers plus 44,231 square kilometers in terms of landmass and is geographically larger than the Gauteng province. Therefore, ward councils in the area covers a bigger geographical area in terms of public participation, as you would see in the map below on the next slide. So you'll see, Chair, that Meer, who had 4 wards, now was into 2 wards, and you will see that the size of Ward 11 and 16, it's rather huge. The next slide. In terms of the sustainability of the amalgamation, it is the view of the province that obviously as a result of David Kruiper having some of the biggest wards in the country, service delivery became more costly due to the unintended consequence of demarcation. The 2 municipalities that were amalgamated were not dysfunctional when the process unfolded, and this assisted the viability. And as illustrated above, the performance of David Kruiper municipality compares well to most municipalities, given some of the challenges that emerged post the amalgamation, as would later on be exposed by the municipality. The next slide. It is recommended, Honourable Chair, that the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs notes the content of the presentation on the sustainability and viability of the amalgamation of Karaïs and Meer municipality into the David Kruiper municipality. Thanks, Honourable Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Swartland. Yeah, can we get the municipality loading its presentation? And then I think whoever is here from the municipality, they will introduce themselves. Is it coming? Yeah,
Good evening,
there you
Jay.
go. Yes, you can start by introducing yourself, and then if there are some colleagues from the municipality, then introduce them as well.
Thank you, Jay. Jay, I am Luwan Strauss. I'm Senior Manager, Finance and Asset Management at the municipality. Our MM, Mr. Elias Mtoba, is also in on the meeting. And then our mayor, Mr. Michael Segeda, is just having trouble logging in, but he will join us during the presentation.
Are you able to put on your video as well?
Let me just put it on.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
There you go.
Okay, if we go to the presentation, like Mr. Swartland said, David Kruiper, let me just go back. As per the Provincial Gazette of 2030, dated 15 July 2016, Meer local municipality and Karaïs local municipality were disestablished on the 5th of August 2016. Karaïs had 14 wards and 27 councillors. Meer had 4 wards and 7 councillors. David Kuyper were established on 6 August 2016. David Kuyper municipality had 16 wards and 41 councillors. The municipality has an executive mayoral system. David Kuyper municipality has a population of 100,243 as per the 2011 census. It is the biggest local municipality by size in the country, area of 44,231 square kilometers. The population density is about 2.4 persons per square kilometer. The David Kuyper municipality had 967 employees as at 31st of October 2020. Within Uppington, there was 903 employees, and at the satellite office, 64 employees. The public participation process during April and May 2016, all ward meetings were held in all wards to inform the community about the merging of the 2 municipalities to obtain possible names for the municipality. As you can see, there was quite a few names proposed, and the David Kuyper local municipality was the one that received the most votes. The audit outcomes, the 15-16 financial year for former KRIs was unqualified with other matters, qualified with other matters. The interim audit was also the same. Then the newly David Kuyper municipality for the year of amalgamation was unqualified with other matters, as well as the 17-18 was also unqualified with other matters. If we look at the performance before the merger of the 2 municipalities, KRI's municipality had a debtors collection rate of 93%, while the former mayor only had a collection rate of 37%. The debtor payment days was 58 days in the former KRIs and 385 days in the former mayor. Creditor payment days was 128 days in the KRIs and 157 in the former mayor. The net surplus deficit per service refuse minus 12% and 5% in mayor municipality. Deficit for sanitation was positive 70% for KRIs and minus 851 for former mayor. For water, minus 16% for KRIs and minus 454 for the old mayor municipality. The liquidity ratio was 0.78 for the old KRIs municipality and 0.47 for the former mayor municipality. If we look at the performance after merger, you'll see the debtor collection rate was for the 329 days after the merger, 94%, and then for 17-18, 96. Debtor payment days were first 63 days, but it then improved for 57 days. Our creditor payment days was first 74, but then it, due to cash flow problems later, it increased to 100 days. The net surplus deficit per service for refuse was initially 104%, then it came down to minus 62. Sanitation was 17%, but then it also came down to minus 21. Water was minus 15%, and it came down to minus 21. The liquidity ratio was constant at about 0.7%. The positive experience that we had through the merger, more skilled employees meant that more infrastructure projects could be completed in the former mayor municipality jurisdiction where there weren't necessary skills to complete projects. The implementation of policies and procedures from of the old former KRIs municipality were amended and then implemented also in the former mayor local municipality, and better service delivery was given to the community of the former mayor municipality. due to the skilled personnel that were performing the services. However, the negative experiences, due to the large geographical area of the Davidkruger, it is impossible to render effective service delivery from Uppington, the head office, which is 275 kilometers away from Witfontein. Furthermore, due to the large geographical area, vehicles must travel further, resulting in an increase in maintenance and running costs. Travel and subsistence increased significantly. Over $1 million additional expenditure were incurred due to the large area. Resources like vehicles, machinery, and equipment of a municipality are actually outdated, inadequate, and insufficient. This is further exacerbated due to the distances between Uppington and Witfontein. Further negatives, employees are not willing to move to Uppington. As most services and administration are being rendered from Uppington, employees from the satellite office at Witfontein are utilized ineffectively. Certain employees of a former municipality also receive benefits that are not available or payable to the former KZN municipality employees. And also, although employees are on the same post level, the allocation of responsibilities are uneven, with a pendulum swinging to Uppington head office. This is affecting the morale of the employees and is leading to disputes at the moment. Policies and bylaws. Due to the lack of policies, bylaws, and procedures, limited information is available on why certain transactions were concluded in the manner it happened in the former municipality, resulting in either irregular expenditure or financial losses. Due to the lack of bylaws, policies, and procedures in the former municipality, it is difficult to enforce compliance to regulation. For example, building regulations, as the houses have already been built, but it doesn't conform to building regulations. So now you can't enforce these regulations without significant cost to the resident himself. When Irvins were disposed by old municipality just before the merger without procedures being followed, and buyers were allowed to pay off as purchase prices. So before the merger, outstanding debtors were also impaired, resulting in Irvins basically given away for free. Unfunded budgets. Before the merger, Mere municipality approved an unfunded budget for the 16-17 financial year, resulting in tariffs not being cost effective to cover the expenditure and current liabilities. These costs then had to be co-funded from the first consolidated budget of DKN, Davidkruger municipality. The different tariff structures. Part of the merger was that the tariff structures must be aligned over a period of time. This is actually impossible since the same level of services are not currently rendered, and the community of a former municipality cannot afford the services. So the liability on the old former KZN community. The ratepayers of community currently cross-subsidize the service delivery of a former municipality, since the income basis of a former municipality is not sufficient to cover the cost of service delivery. Reduced equitable share allocation. For the 15-16 financial year, 57.6 million was gazetted to KZN municipality and 14.6 for municipality. The two amounts add to 72.2 million. The amount gazetted for DKM for equitable share in 16-17 was 58 million, resulting in less equitable share being received after the merger. Okay, decrease in government funding. As per the 15-16 DORA, which had the former mayor and KZN municipality, the total grant allocations, equitable share, MSIG, FMG, MIG, for 16-17 would have been 109,559,000. The allocation for DKM was 100,519,000. resulting in a reduction of 9 million. Inadequate municipal demarcation transitional grant. Only 13.4 million was allocated to the municipality as part of a municipal demarcation transitional grant. The municipality had to submit implementation plan on how the grants will be spent. Payment of creditors, additional audit costs was not allowed in terms of a plan. Additional audit costs for interim audits resulted in more expenditure being incurred. The total amount of cash and cash equivalents was 5.8 million. The former Mere municipality had total amount of cash and cash equivalents of 5.8 million. The former Mere had total liabilities of 40 million. Therefore, the newly David Kruger municipality inherited 34.almost 2 million of debt that was not funded or covered by the by the municipal demarcation transitional grant. The salaries of August 6, 2016 was for former Mere municipality was paid by the Karais municipality because Mere had insufficient funds to pay salaries. These costs were also not covered by the MTDG. The collection rate, as per the 2016 audited AFS of Mere, was 385 days for debtors collection days. This clearly reflects a culture of non-payment that existed in the former Mere municipality. The current collection rate for October 2020 for David Kruger is only 35%, showing that the former Mere municipality is having a big impact on the collection rate of the newly municipality. The cost of the merger was not accurately calculated. Since insufficient funding was received from National Treasury, David Kruger municipality is technically insolvent. Unfunded mandates, more libraries were inherited with additional burden on the operational budget. The grant from Provincial Treasury is far below the actual cost incurred for libraries. For the 2020-21 financial year, the unfunded portion for libraries is 7.1 million. Other negative experiences, the prepaid water sale. The prepaid water server cannot be stationed at HQ due to the low bandwidth problems. This poses an IT risk. This is due to the distances between Uppington and Rietfontein. The IMA system, due to the low bandwidth, the IMA system cannot be used in its entirety. IT support, due to the vast distances, IT physical support takes a minimum of 2.5 hours to reach a site and is time consuming and costly. Extension of the network. As a result of the vast different distances between Uppington and the Mere area, it is difficult to erect a wireless network from HQ to the different remote offices. VSAT connectivity is the only alternative and is costly, and low bandwidth is not allowing for all systems to connect. Infrastructure not maintained. Aging infrastructure failing due to non-maintenance as a result of financial constraints. These costs are not covered by any grant funding, but must be additionally funded from own revenue. Water levels dropped due to drought. Additional expenditure was incurred to transport water from Uppington to Nuniput and Swartkop Dam as a result of a drought. Quality of water involves additional costs were incurred to ensure that water adheres to drinking standards. Insufficient water storage capacity at Ascom and Kleinmuir resulted in water shortages on a regular basis. Increase in overtime due to services being rendered from Uppington. The Rietfontein oxidation pond. The oxidation pond requires emergency update due to inadequate maintenance. No additional funding is available for that. Maintenance of a gravel road. Only one grader must maintain the entire David Kruger municipality area. So in conclusion, Due to the distance, 275 kilometers between the two former municipalities, it is impossible to render service effectively due to logistical problems. Insufficient funding was received to drive the process of the merger. As stated, the total grants received decreased, yet the expenditure increased. The revenue generating capacity of the municipality is under severe threat due to the economic conditions and high unemployment within the Northern Cape. High salary bill due to underutilized employees since no retrenchment were allowed as per merger agreement. The merger process was driven by the district municipality, although it was not party to the merger and limited to no support was received after the merger. Some decisions were also taken on behalf of the merging local municipalities that did not benefit the municipality. Furthermore, the merger process did not benefit the community or the ratepayer of a former Kara's municipality due to cross-subsidization of tariffs. The way forward. Unless constant additional funding in the form of equitable share is received, the newly formed Harvard-Creeper local municipality will not be financially viable and sustainable to deliver services. To reduce the salary bill by means of retrenchment of underutilized employees, which was prohibited as part of the merger, and high unemployment rate must be addressed both locally and provincially through public and private investments within the municipal jurisdiction. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Strauss. If you can then mute your microphone so that then we can allow members to interact with the presentation. Members, colleagues, can I see by a show of hands? You can switch off your video as well, Mr. Strauss. Oh. Can I see a show of hands? Whoever wants to interact with the Northern Cape presentation? I see Honorable Mpumza is here on the raise your hand option. It's only Honorable Mpumza, then the other colleagues like KZN. I can see you here on the screen. Is it the two of you only? That's fine. Then if you are two, let's proceed in that order. Honorable Mpumza. Oh.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening. Am I audible?
Colleagues, can you hear him?
Hello, Chairperson, am I audible? Hello, Chair.
Yes, you are. You are.
Am I
You
audible?
are audible, Honorable Mpumza, you are.
Oh, thank you very much.
Proceed, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, let's welcome the presentation by the MEC and the municipality. Chair, in this report, what is seriously being the problem is that the pre-amalgamation process, the teams that were set up and all of this, they didn't really do their work in terms of the transformation teams that were established before amalgamations. As per the report, there is an indication that perhaps thorough work was not done. Why I'm raising that, Chair, in the report by the municipalities, the indication that the placement of staff was the placement of staff in amalgamated, post-amalgamation, apparently thoroughly done. Why is it that they are employees who are said to be resisting to move away from the former Mary municipality to the headquarters of the municipality in Uppington? Does that not suggest that the question of placing the staff and integrating them into one entity is a matter that has not been finalized? Secondly, Chair, the report indicates that the consideration of the vastness of the territory and the resultant cost in doing service, in conducting service, would erode the revenue capability of the municipality. In view of the fact that also the municipality is indicating that the municipal demarcation grant was inadequate to actually finance the whole process of amalgamation. And as a result, the municipality is finding itself now that its revenue base has been shrunk by this amalgamation. In event of that situation, what has been the province doing to mitigate, given that they knew all that the territory is vast, there would be a high cost of doing the business? What has been the province, COCTA and Treasury, to mitigate this gap in the finances of the municipality so that it could be addressed? What assistance the province through section 154 that it has provided to ensure that the whole process of amalgamation, you don't get a report where there are still municipal employees stuck in the old municipality resisting to take up their positions in the headquarters in Uppington? What is the province actually doing around that? And it appears that now that there is an aging infrastructure, because all these things should have been a data that had been collated and a data that had informed the diagnostic assessment prior by the pre-amalgamation task teams, so that they would inform the real report as to what is the state of these municipalities before the final date of such amalgamation. Because why I'm raising this, Section 12 notice has been issued by the MC of COCTA, disestablishing and directing the municipalities to be established, which means that the province had not done more to assist this amalgamation process, so that the new entity that emerges is not confronted by these huge challenges. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Hadebe. Sorry, my apologies, Honorable Mpumza. I wanted to say, Honorable Hadebe, you are welcome.
No, Hadebe
no, I was saying, Honorable Hadebe is now in the meeting. He had initially said that he was still traveling from from Parliament. So thank you, Honorable Mpumza. Can I allow Honorable Gaiza to raise the issues as he wants to raise them?
No, thank you very much, Chair. It's issues pertaining to now the merger of this municipality having to grapple with the issue of spatial distance, of which I should think, Chairperson, the Municipal Demarcation Board should have had measures in place to plan properly, which then questions the criteria they have used to get to that determination, because some of the issues that they are raising here in the presentation relates to the unwillingness of the employees, but not that only, Chair, is the question of the morale of the employees themselves that is not quite in placed properly. And some of the issues that they raise relates to the 1 million additional expenditure incurred to the larger area. But Chair, we spoke about this yesterday, that the division of revenue must speak to the expenditure, to the new expenditures and developments in a new amalgamated situation, and seek to address the new developments. Failing which, Chairperson, we can't see more positives as we have seen in positive experience in the in terms of employing the skilled employees, and more policies that are being transferred from the former Kara local municipalities and being implemented to the so like my honorable Mpumza, we would like to get an understanding as to what is the province work in terms of these issues that we have raised, and what is the province envisaging in terms of the division of revenue involving, because also, Chair, they speak about one grader having to service the entire municipality, and then they speak about the trucks and I guess everything in the technical services is very, very old. So the province, we would like to hear the province's input in terms of answering these questions and more issues pertaining to the resolution of this amalgamation. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Can I hand over to the province to respond to the issues as raised by the colleagues?
Thank you, Chair. I'll attempt to address some of the issues that was raised by the honorable members. In terms of the placement of staff. Come again?
Oh, okay. If you can put your video on,
Okay.
Mr. Swartland.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
No, I think the issue of the placement of staff integration not finalized. The part of the problem was that the issue of placement was discussed, but the issue of job descriptions could not be finalized by the committee, as well as the job evaluation. The understanding was that the Rietfontein would become a fully fledged satellite offices, where you would have services that would be part of the head office, would also be at the Rietfontein office to try and curb the expenditure that David Kruiper is now experiencing. But in the same way that staff from Meer were not happy to move to Uppington, it's the same. Some of the staff from Uppington were also not happy to move to Meer, so that we could have mechanical services or engineering services, which would be resident in Meer. As you know, Meer was a former Act 9 town, so there's really nothing going on in that particular area, and so people didn't want to move in terms of that. So whilst the process was addressed by everyone concerned, both from the two municipalities and the district, what was then said is the staff that would remain, because similar work was done both at the head office as well as the satellite office. Part of the problem is that there was no connectivity, and that's the reason why the processes are a little bit problematic at the moment. In terms of the proper work being done prior, the work was done in collaboration with both municipalities and the district. I think the problem came that the process of job descriptions and job evaluations were only finalized or are in the process of being finalized as we speak now, Chair. And job evaluation takes plus minus 2 years to complete, and you have a situation where people now are saying, if I'm in Mir and I'm an accountant, and I'm in Karaheis, I'm an accountant, I would want to have the same money. So those are some of the problems that are creeping up now, because those processes were not completed prior, to ensure that with the placement of staff was also because you amalgamated a grade 1 municipality with a grade 3 municipality, which then became problematic. In terms of the machinery, obviously we would have to speak to Karaheis and Treasury to see to what extent the machinery now, because I think most of the vehicles are now being, after 3 years, because of the distances, they cannot keep up with that, and also with the fact that there's now a lower income than there was before. So obviously all of these matters then becomes problematic to the new district, the David Kuiper municipality, and we need to have a session with Provincial Treasury as well to see to what extent we are able to mitigate some of the unintended consequences of the amalgamation, which was only experienced after amalgamation during this period. And I was always saying that perhaps one should begin to see how other satellite offices are operated to ensure that we are able to curb the cost. One of the issues that one of the members of Mir was saying, when they travel in their former Mir municipality, they used to sleep in tents. Now, when people move from Uppington to Mir area, they're now staying in guest houses. And the time that is needed is problematic, because sometimes a mechanic goes out to fix a truck. When he gets there, he finds that the part that he needed to bring is not there. So he has traveled one day, looked at the vehicle, has to go back again and come back to get the part from Uppington. So I think it's an issue where we perhaps need to look at how do we, as part of this process, how do we make the satellite office more reflective of the services that is delivered at head office, to see if the cost that we are incurring in S&T, cost that we are incurring in traveling, would not perhaps assist in ensuring that we have skilled personnel at the satellite office to deal with the issues themselves. Chair, I think I've covered or tried to cover most of the questions. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair. Can I? You are muted, Chair.
Am I muted?
Yeah, you are fine now, Chair.
You want to make it? I was saying MEC Vas microphone was on. I thought you wanted to say something prior to you coming with a follow-up, Honorable Kaiser. Okay. Can you allow the MEC to say something?
Sure.
Maybe a concern will be addressed by the MEC.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee. Now, I think Mr. Swartland covered a number of the issues raised by the committee. What we, as a provincial government, also, I think we are supportive in terms of Section 154, giving support to all of our municipalities in the province. to make sure that at least our municipalities are in a position to render services. Given the challenges that we experience in terms of spending, weak spending, or some of our municipalities in terms of weak funding and other grants, but still, I think from the side of the provincial government, we are really trying to assist our municipalities. Although there's challenges, we agreed with the members in terms of the issues that they highlight. But I think some of the other issues, maybe Honorable Chair, what we agreed is what we are going to do is to respond to some of the other detailed issues in writing to the committee, and then we can take it from there. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, Honorable Kaiser, do you still want to come back?
No, just briefly, Chair. I wanted to ask the municipality, the presenter, as to what are some of the proposals that he has in terms of resolving some of the challenges that he has highlighted here in the presentation and in his responses. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
And then to add up on what you have said, we have seen an increase in the number of wards, and that also made the municipality to expand. Then we'd like to hear from the municipality whether are they able to service their citizens, especially the ones that now the municipality has become bigger than anticipated. And then we are towards the end of this political term. Then have they resolved all the labor-related issues? If not, how many are there still outstanding? Do they have labor disputes that have gone to the bargaining chamber, including the labor court? Because definitely when you are merging a grade 3 with a grade 1 municipality, then there has to be parity. And they will, those, especially those that are coming from a lower grade, they would like to be put at the same level with the ones that are in the higher grades. So we want to also hear what has been the municipality's experiences and how have they managed to resolve that. The other issue that we want to understand, what has been the role of the district municipality in supporting this municipality. And then because the money that was allocated by National Treasury was on a sliding scale, it was for 3 years. Now that that 3 years period had passed and lapsed, is the municipality going to be sustainable moving forward in terms of then, in particular, the issue? Because normally the complaint is about now the huge salary gap that comes as a consequence of merging the municipalities. You find that then officials are duplicating. And then is it going to be sustainable moving forward? And then I think we need the municipalities' honest assessment here that has the amalgamation yielded positive result or negative results. Those are the issues that we love the mayor and the team to share with us on their experiences. Over to you, Team Northern Cape. Who wants to start first? You can shout and then talk.
Yeah, maybe we should, yeah, Chair, I think, thank you very much, Chair. I think we should start with the support from the district municipality and then allow the local municipality. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone from the district municipality? Or COCTA will deal with that? The province will deal with that question? It seems as if there's no one
yeah,
from
then
the district municipality. But I think the province could have made that assessment whether the district is playing its role in terms of Section 154. MEC?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Chair, I think in our assessment as the provincial government, and myself and the MEC for Finance discussed the very same matter this afternoon, that in our view, we really need assistance because given the financial position of district municipalities, I think the district municipality tried to assist the local municipality, although it's difficult for district municipalities to give necessary support. Given the financial position of district municipalities, they don't have a revenue basis as district municipalities. So in my view, I think that our municipalities need more support because the support that they're getting from the district municipality is not sufficient to make sure that the local municipalities can address the challenges facing by our communities in terms of service delivery. But maybe the local municipality can also reflect on that in terms of their own assessment.
Okay, thank you, MEC. Can I then hand over to the mayor to be the one that led this? So the mayor, we were told the mayor was connecting. Did the mayor finally connect, or you want to lead municipal manager?
Yeah, on the system at the moment. I can respond to maybe the issue of the systems to us.
And you sort your sound, the sound of your system, And can I ask 1PN to mute his or her microphone? 1PN, something like that. Can you mute your microphone? You are disrupting the of David Creeper municipality. PN mute your microphone, please. Then the can. Yes, proceed.
Can I speak?
Yes, you can.
The district support.
But can you fix the echo? Can you fix the echo in your microphone, or is the sound issues? If you can try to address that, we can't hear you. You are being then clouded by that terrible sound. Try again. Admin, can you help remove 1PN away from the meeting, please? I've said several times for this person to mute the microphone. The person doesn't want to do that. Proceed, MM. Proceed. Let's see. That's better. Yes.
From the district, we do support from the district. We have a good relationship with the district. It's just that the district also doesn't is not able to give us all the support that we actually need at the moment. But somehow we do cooperate, but they're unable to give us all the support. They're also having their own constraints in terms of capacity of the district. But we do.
Yeah, we can't get the MM.
Yes, it's tough. It's terrible. Can somebody with a better connectivity respond? The manager that did the presentation, Mr. Strauss, were audible. Can we allow? We can't hear you, and I believe the MM's microphone has got problems. Anyone from the municipality? It's quiet.
No,
Yes.
thank you, Chair.
Okay. That's better.
I'm Michael Segeda, the Mayor of DKM. Just want to apologize for being late. I was in the members of Assembly of Salga, but I'm here now. Chair, part of the issues raised was in terms of the extra wards which we have received now. I think the extra ward it's not wards which we get from our other provinces or maybe other municipalities. It's in the same area, but it's one ward which is being split into two. So we can at least still service that ward if we get in the new after the elections. Some of the issues also raised, Chair, was the support from the district. We do receive support from the district municipality. We have a close relationships in terms of assistance, but it is not quite the district municipality doesn't have enough funds to assist municipality of Tabat-Kalepen in terms of their challenges which they have, but at least we do get some assistance from the municipality. Some of the issues which we raised, question which was raised, was that if we can get assistance, more of the equitable shares that was taken when we merged as Tarais and Mir. I think we can do better as a municipality, because when they took that equitable shares, it was clear that from the side of Uppington, Tarai said we have to service the Mir area with the funds which we generate in the Uppington area. So it will be helpful if we can get a necessary assistance in terms of extra equitable shares which was taken, the one of Mir when we merged as one municipality. Thanks, Chair.
MEC Vas, anything in closing that you want to bring to the committee's attention before we release you?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee. And my apology for not switching on my camera due to the signal challenges of the signal, because I'm in the rural areas of the Northern Cape. But I think there's a number of critical issues that's why I was saying earlier that I think some of the issues we still need to respond to the committee in writing. It's unfortunate that the district municipality is not part of the meeting, because I think the role of district municipalities in supporting local municipalities is critical. But also, Honorable Chairperson, I think what we should do is to make sure that we support this municipality, because it's the biggest municipality in the ZFM district municipality. As you've seen in the presentation, that the vastness poses serious challenges for us in the Northern Cape. But we still have to render services to that community of the former municipality of Mir. So now we have this amalgamated municipality. We have to make sure that we render services across the municipality and not to a few wards. But also, Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee, the challenges facing district municipalities, and it's a serious matter, and I think it's a matter that we raise on a number of platforms, to say that it's something that we have to look into how to deal with the issue of revenue, because we know that our local municipalities, they are low in terms of revenue collection. Now it's worse now with the issue of COVID, but it's not an excuse for service delivery. We have to render the services. But we are sitting with a high level of unemployment in the very same municipality. If you take the area of Mir, there's no income for that community. They are only relying on the municipality because there's no job creation. So we need to be creative as the provincial government to give the municipality the support and make sure that the municipality is in a better financial position going forward. But there are serious challenges. I can also, and I'm honest with the committee, there are challenges that the community raised with us in terms of service delivery. The issue of tools of trade of the municipality in terms of the number of trucks that they have to render services like your water trucks, tankers and stuff. So some of the issues that we have to look into in terms of sanitation and also in terms of other services rendered by the provincial government and national departments. So with that few words, Honorable Chairperson, let me thank the Honorable Committee for granting us this opportunity to present as the Northern Cape as well as the municipalities. And we will make sure that we respond to some of the outstanding issues in writing to the committee as soon as possible. I thank you.
Thank you, MEC Vas. Can I allow the DCOC team to, having listened to yourself, want to hear their comment now? Because we're here as a consequence of the decision initiated by them. Dr. Naidu, can I ask the MM of David Kraper to mute his microphone, please?
Thank you, Chairperson. You know, they were, in my view, this being one of the better managed transition processes. And I recall going to the pre-election municipalities, you know, prior to the actual elections in August. And that entire transition merger process, Honorable Chairperson and members, was actually managed by Mr. Swartland. And, you know, in the very one meeting I think I may have attended, you know, the discipline that was instilled by each and every senior manager that was part of the technical transition committee, which committee was, you know, being facilitated by the district. And there was real commitment, Chairperson, in terms of the process. But suffice to say, and I think it must have been in the first or second slide that was being made by the province, you know, it is the province that had initiated this process, or had actually made the submission, and they say to the demarcation board and to the minister, but it was actually to the minister who had then, you know, passed it on to the demarcation board. So there's a couple of lessons that we've learned specifically from the David-Kraper local municipality merger. But before I come to that, just in terms of vastness, you know, correctly, this is the biggest local municipality in the country. I think the city of Johannesburg will be able to fit into David-Kraper more than 20 times. And the Gauteng province itself will be able to fit into the municipality almost 2.5 times. So it is quite an expansive municipality, Honorable Chair and members. But the lesson that we've learned, so we've heard that, you know, through the amalgamation, there was a reduction in the number of councillors. So Karaheis and Mir, prior to the amalgamation, collectively they had 34 councillors. And then through the amalgamation, that 34 has now been decreased by 31. So meaning from a position where they had collectively previously 18 wards in both the municipalities collectively, they now have 16 wards because they have 31 councillors. So the lesson learned here, Chair, and it is an intervention that we've made in the Municipal Structures Amendment Bill, which, as the Chair would know, was approved by the NCOP yesterday and returned to the House for consideration. One of the interventions we've made here is that we've included a provision that now says that where a local municipality is greater than 30,000 square kilometers. In such instance, and we actually have across the country 10 municipalities that fall into this category. In such instances, a municipality or the MEC may deviate by 20% and not the normal 10% that would be applicable to other municipalities that are of lesser size. So in effect, what does this mean for David-Kruger? So while the present number of councillors would be 31, and this is after the 10% deviation, David-Kruger would now have, if the enactment was in place, David-Kruger would now have 36 councillors, and by virtue of that, they would have 18 wards, and then return to what the status quo was before the amalgamation took place. So, still maintaining the proximity of the councillors that were there prior amalgamation to restore it to that position. So that's the one lesson that we've learned, Chair. The second is that, there were instances, and I'm just looking at some of the information that I have before me, around the MDTG. So in the first year of the grants, the municipality was allocated 13.4 million, but was only able to spend about 1.3 million. And then it had to apply for a rollover of 8 million. So basically losing 5 million rand from that initial allocation that was made. In the second year that the grant was allocated to the municipality, it spent about 20%, but luckily enough, the municipality had been able to get an approved rollover from the National Treasury. So I think the common thread that we've been listening to from municipalities was that, or is that, there are funding issues. It's a pity that National Treasury is not in the meeting today, because the reduction in the local government equitable share, I think, is mostly because of it being formula driven, and I think a better understanding or how that formula is actually applied in these instances would have assisted the meeting and perhaps even the colleagues from the province and the municipalities itself in terms of what really informs the reduction in the grant funding. But it is something that we've noted, Chairperson, and we will take this forth with National Treasury at the end of all of the deliberations in this regard. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Naidu, for this. MEC, I think these are matters, like we said, they are ongoing. These are the matters that will be seized with during the tenure of this committee. So I should think after our deliberations as a committee, having listened to all affected municipality, we're still going to engage with your good selves, including National Treasury and the DCOC. So We want to thank you together with the team from the municipality. And then, like you said, the information that is outstanding that you said it's going to be submitted in writing, let it be so. Maybe the committee secretary can receive such information letters by Monday, that including the questions of the staffing matters that we raised. We want to understand the status of such, whether everybody has been incorporated in the system, if there are disputes, and all those other related questions that has not been answered. I would like to excuse the Northern Cape team and then allow the delegate by the HOD, I think is the DDG, who has been delegated to lead the team to introduce the KZN matters. You are free to leave if you want to, the Northern Cape delegation. MEC?
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you. Can we allow the HOD designate to then load the presentation? I think it's you, Mr. Mdadane, who's the leader of the delegation. DDG Mdadane.
Yes.
So you can proceed.
Good evening, Honorable Chair. The technical team is all here. Mr. Doom, the presentation chair, I've just been informed that the MEC has just joined us. Let me then hand over back to the MEC. Thank you, Chair.
No,
MEC, are you
no,
here?
greeting.
Wow,
Yes.
what happened? I didn't
Chair,
see you joining, MEC.
It's my gadget.
It's the gadget.
No,
Oh.
my apology, Chair. Yes. No, greeting to yourself,
then
Chair.
you can
and
lead.
to the Honorable. No, thank you, Chair. Greetings to yourself. Greetings to the honorable members of the portfolio, all officials present. Chair, my apology for joining late. However, I will request that the DDG, the team led by DDG, should just take the portfolio committee members about our report. Thank you.
Welcome, MEC. DDG, over to you now.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Duma, Chief Director, Governance and Administration, will lead the presentation.
Yes, the presentation is on the screen, Mr. Duma. Can you proceed?
Good evening, Chairperson. I hope I'm audible on your side.
Yes, you are.
Thank
Maybe
you.
if you can put that picture of yours there at the corner.
Let me just sort myself here. Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening to the Chairperson of the committee, the Honorable Chair, the Honorable members, our MEC Shlomuga, the mayors who may be here, HOD Dubane, DDG Mdadane, and all other colleagues who are present in this meeting. I'll try and be quick, Chairperson, seeing that time is not on our side. At the start of the meeting, you had anticipated that we should finish by close to 10. Chairperson, I think that the KZN province is moving from a point of view that says that the measures are necessary in a democracy like ours. We have to look at these measures not only after the 2016 local government elections, but perhaps before that. The Chairperson will recall that before the 2000 local government elections that were held in December 2000, South Africa had in excess of 800 municipalities, and a team that was led by Dr. Mike Sutcliffe reduced that number to about 278. And after the 2016 local government elections, the municipalities reduced further. In KZN, before the 2016 local government elections, we had 61 municipalities, and these were then reduced to the 54 that we have at the moment. So I'm trying to say that these measures are necessary. Whether at the end of the day they become effective is a matter that needs to be debated, and it seems to me that that is where the committee is departing from, that let's discuss whether these measures are effective at the end of the day and in improving the local government system in South Africa. Therefore, Chairperson, the purpose of the amendments in KwaZulu-Natal to look at public participation measures that were implemented, to look at briefly the performance of these municipalities before and after the amalgamation, just to illustrate the point of views that we are putting forward. Chairperson, as indicated by other provinces, the need for restructuring arose from the fact that we needed to make sure that the institution of local government is strengthened, but also we needed to build stability in local government, make sure that planning is restructured, there's social cohesion, there's sustainability and good governance. So all these principles informed the restructuring of local government. There was an assessment that was undertaken, Chairperson, which showed that since 2000, for 12 years, some municipalities were still struggling and were not able to deliver services as they were mandated to do. And in our assessment, it indicated that those municipalities were not viable. And the issues that were looked at included finances of those municipalities, service delivery and infrastructure in particular. Also issues of spatial planning, as in the case with the Northern Cape that is just presented now. Chairperson.
Who's calling the chairperson?
It's Eza.
What are the issues, Honorable Keza?
My slides are not.
Oh, they are not moving. It's true. What's going on, Mr. Duma? Your slides have not been moving.
Okay, let me reload it, Chairperson. Perhaps it will perform better this time. It's loading, and I'm going to try and not use slideshow, but use this facility here. I think they are moving now, Chairperson.
Yes, we are now.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, I am on this slide, Chairperson. I was indicating that the public participation process that was undertaken in doing these measures, and in our case, there were also splits, involved a number of stakeholders, including the Municipal Demarcation Board itself, COGTA and KZN, COGTA at national, municipalities, SALGA was involved. So it was quite a broad range of stakeholders that were involved, and there were processes and mechanisms that were employed. in effecting these public participation processes, Chairperson, including Izimbizo, IDP representative forums and budget processes, and including the use of mass media to make sure that there is communication. Chair, if I may move quickly in terms of splits, Vulamehlo municipality was split between Umdoni and eThekwini, and I think in your opening remarks you did refer to some of the challenges that currently exist in Umdoni in relation to this split. But Ndambanana municipality was also split between Tonjaneni municipality, Umhlatuze and Folozi. In terms of mergers, it was Imbabazane local municipality that was merged with Umjezi to form what is now called Inkosilangalbalele municipality. This is in the Utugela district municipality. Indaga local municipality and Mnambiti, they also merged to form what is called Alfred Duma municipality. It's also in the same district of Utugela district. Hlabisa local municipality merged with Big Five False Bay to form what is called Big Five Hlabisa. The municipality is in the Umkhanyagute district municipality in the far north of the province. Kwasani local municipality merged with Ingwe local municipality to form what is called Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma municipality. And this municipality is in the Herikwala district, Chairperson, just across the border from Umsunduzi. From Umgungundlovu district municipality. As in Ngoleni, excuse me, as in Ngoleni local municipality merged with Hibiscus Coast, they formed Reinkonyeni municipality, which is in the Ugu district on the south coast of the province. Chairperson, the process of restructuring, just like in other provinces, followed a structured process whereby change management committees were established, as well as a municipal technical change management committees. And there was also an appointment of a transformation manager by the provincial copter who oversaw the entire process on behalf of the department. And the focus was on issues of vacancies, the budgeting, the IDP, the performance management, the organogram, office accommodation, and the transfer of staff and delegations, rationalization of policies and bylaws, and a lot of other activities, Chairperson. On the legal front, we obviously had done, the MEC had issued what is called a Section 14.5 notice, which allows the MEC to disestablish municipalities and establish new ones in terms of the Section 14.5 of the Structures Act, Chairperson. That notice provided for issues on the appointment of staff, on the disposal and acquisition of assets. And these merging municipalities were not allowed to simply dispose of assets that were greater than 500,000 Rand in value during the process of merger, Chairperson. And there were also measures to make sure that the municipalities did not use recklessly the reserves that they had. And because, I mean, there would have been a temptation to deplete your reserves before the merger or before the marriage, as it were. And there were measures that were put in place to make sure that assets are managed properly. The Section 14.5 notice also dealt with issues of budget and IDP processes, the appointment of acting municipal managers, the validation of valuation roles of the disestablished municipalities after the merger, Chairperson. Having done all those processes, you would know, Chairperson, that in terms of Section 12 of the Structure Act, the MEC is empowered to put in place the necessary Section 12 notices to establish municipalities, which we did before the 2016 local government elections. All the activities that had been undertaken before the 2016 local government elections were then captured and gazetted in terms of these Section 12 notices, including the new names, the new seats, if there were new seats, and so on. So these notices were issued and they remain valid in terms of establishing these municipalities. We had anticipated, Chairperson, that there would be an expansion of service delivery networks in the merged municipalities. There would have been an increase in the capacity of skills, or in the capacity of these municipalities with skills to render these services. And we also anticipated that there would be savings in terms of overheads, in that where you had 2 municipal managers, you now have 1, where you had 2 mayors, you have 1, and therefore your costs. I'm just making these as examples, and there are many other examples where you would save in terms of overhead costs. And also the achievement of benefits of economies of scale. Whether that has been achieved is an issue that I think is part of the inquiry of this committee, Chairperson. Having done all those processes, Chairperson, we want to quickly now look at the current status. What is the status? We do quarterly assessments of all municipalities in terms of the functionality of their oversight structures and governance issues. And we have found that in all the merged municipalities, the oversight structures are functioning as they are expected. Yes, there would be problems, but those problems are not uncommon. The structure that is probably giving us challenges is MPEC. However, in the province of KwaZulu-Natal as a whole, MPECs are still struggling, even at this late stage in the term, Chairperson. You find that in some municipalities, the committees are changed or new members are appointed, and they don't have adequate capacity and adequate training to be able to interpret financial statements, as an example, or to deal with issues of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure reports that get presented to them. I'm saying that is a problem that is common not only in your merged municipalities, but across the province, and the department is working hard in trying to resolve those issues. Our municipal finance unit, as an example, has now been directed to do what we call hands-on support, in that officials of the department, they sit in these meetings in order to guide these committees in terms of in terms of the business that they process or they transact. The municipalities have all adopted their standing rules and orders. You would know that this is central to the operation of the municipal council business, Chairperson. And in the case of KZN, we have found that most speakers, not only in your merged municipalities, but most speakers tend to be reluctant to implement consequence management measures that are provided in the Code of Conduct for Councillors. And again, just recently, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the MEC met with the speakers across the province to impress upon them to make sure that they implement these Code of Conduct measures that are provided for in the Code of Conduct for Councillors, Schedule 1 of the Systems Act. So I'm just saying that problem is prevalent not only in merged municipalities, but across all other municipalities, and it is being addressed by the department. In terms of the organograms, the municipalities that merged have all approved their organograms or revised organograms, even though the merger in some cases, I mean, examples being Nkosi Langalbalele, resulted in bloated organograms. But that was because of decisions that were taken outside of the merger process, which in the case of Nkosi Langalbalele meant that they absorbed about 232, if I'm not mistaken, employees who were on contract, and they didn't actually need to absorb them. That had a huge impact on the employee budget of that municipality. And the processes to try and resolve those issues are ongoing. I'll talk to them just now. Chairperson, you would know as well that the issues of job descriptions and not job descriptions as such, but job evaluation, those are matters that dealt with by SALGA, and unfortunately in all these municipalities it was not possible to do job evaluations before the merger. So job evaluations came after the effect. And in fact, in some municipalities, that process is still ongoing and unresolved. When we quickly look at the financial positions of these municipalities or the financial status, Chairperson, starting with audit outcomes, you will see that one municipality that consistently has challenges is Nkosi Langalbalele, in that immediately after the merger, the municipality received a disclaimer of audit opinion from the AG, which was followed by an adverse opinion in 2017-2018 and another adverse opinion in 2018-2019. This year being 2019-2020, the department took a conscious decision to deploy financial experts from the department who are actively assisting the municipality to turn around the situation, given that since they received an adverse audit opinion, they are facing two audits, the 2018-2019 audit, then the 2019-2020 audit. And the reports coming out of Nkosi Langalbalele are indicating that there might be an improvement. As to how far that improvement goes, it remains to be seen, Chairperson, given that the AG this year had to delay the timing of the release of the audit results because of COVID. So the results will be available, I think, at the beginning of the year. Chairperson, the rest of the municipalities have not done bad, and they have not improved that much after the mergers, especially Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and Ray Nkonyeni. Big Five Tlabisa had done well at the beginning, but then subsequently regressed to a qualified audit opinion. And again, the department is working hard to try and make sure that that audit opinion improves going forward. In fact, the department has spent quite a sizable amount of money this year deploying financial experts at these municipalities to assist these municipalities to sort out their books going forward, Chairperson. Alfred Duma, you will see that they started bad, and however, in 2018-2019, they improved to an unqualified audit opinion, even though it was still not a clean audit, but it had improved. And this year, the indications are that they will retain an improved audit opinion, Chairperson. As well. In terms of cost coverage, as an indicator of the ability of the municipality to pay its short-term obligations, You would know, Chairperson, that in relation to this, National Treasury has determined a norm of 1 to 3 months, which basically means that if the municipality was to not collect any money for 1 month or up to 3 months, it should still be able to pay its obligations. And this is an indicator of the financial health of the municipality. And again, if you look at the splits, Tonjaneni is not looking good. It is red. It was red in 1718. It remained red in 1819 with a ratio of 0.24, which basically means that it's less. They had cash that is less than a month available. When you look at Mhlatuze, it was looking good. It was above 2 months. Look at Mfolozi is I will show you just now, Chairperson, that these municipalities in Tonjaneni and Mfolozi are grant dependent. In theory, they shouldn't be facing this kind of situation, and which is why the department has decided to employ experts who are looking at these matters. Why are these municipalities facing this kind of situation? Umdoni, surprisingly, despite its governance challenges, Umdoni's financial health is good. In that at the end of the 18-19 financial year, they were sitting at 9 months cost coverage, which is excellent. eThekwini was sitting at two months, which is also good for the size of that municipality. I mean, they have a huge budget, as you know, Chairperson. Nkosilang Albalele is struggling. As I will show just now, Chairperson, they are struggling with paying creditors. They are struggling with ESCOM. However, they are one of the municipalities that have done well in relation to that. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma has consistently had a very good cost coverage for over a longer period now, Chairperson. As at end of 2018-2019, they were sitting at 11 months, which is quite excellent. They are actually one of the highest, if not the highest in the province. Reinkonyeni is struggling, Big Five Hlabisa is struggling, Alfred Duma is looking good at almost 4 months. So in terms of the finances of this municipalities, it's not bad. Well, let me not say it's not bad. It's actually a mixed bag. That's what I meant. It's actually a mixed bag. Some of the municipalities are doing well. Some of the municipalities are struggling. If you are looking at an indicator that is called current ratio, which looks at the assets of the municipality, whether the assets exceed the liabilities, you are looking at a situation where Mfolozi, eThekwini, Nkosilang Albalele, Reinkonyeni, and Big Five Hlabisa are red, which indicates that they have challenges. And again, as I indicated, the department has deployed experts who are looking at these matters across all these municipalities to try and achieve a turnaround. One of the other indicators, Chairperson, is the amount of money that the municipality is spending on employees. You would recall that National Treasury has determined a threshold, that being 25% to 40%. So if you are below 40%, you are still okay. And therefore, if you look at municipalities such as Mfolozi, which started with 32% in the 2016-2017 financial year, is now sitting at 42%. So something is not right there. So the department is looking at what is causing this. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma started at 40%, so the merger had started with 40%, which means they were right at the top end of the threshold. they are now above the threshold, even though that is coming down slightly from 44% in 17-18. It's now sitting at 41% in 18-19, and it is expected to improve further going forward, Chairperson. Big Five Hlabisa was the worst performing municipality in relation to this indicator. It was sitting at 50% in 2016-17. You could argue that this was because of the merger. That increased to 56%, but came down to 45% in 2018-2019. And Alfred Duma is looking good, Chairperson. As I indicated earlier on, Chairperson, one of the issues that we're looking at is to what extent are these municipalities grant dependent? Are they able to raise their own revenue, in other words, after the mergers, as it were? A grant dependency threshold is 80%. If 80% and above of your income is derived from national and from, if you look at these percentages, Chairperson, none of these municipalities are above 80%. However, we are concerned about Mtonjaneni, Mfolozi, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and Hlabisa Big Five. And if you look at all these 4 municipalities, all of them, they are rural municipalities. So they are the catchment for rates is poor or is low in those areas. So these municipalities are not in any event likely to improve them from this kind of situation in the near future. Chairperson, they will remain dependent on government grants going forward. Whether they are merged or not, I mean, if you look at Mtonjaneni, it merged with Ndambanana, or rather it got part of Ndambanana, which was a rural municipality. Mtonjaneni itself is a rural municipality. Mfolozi got part of Ndambanana. Ndambanana was rural, and Mfolozi is rural. If you look at Kwasani and Ingwe, both those municipalities, even though Kwasani had Underberg, Heimville, where they collect quite a substantive amount of money from rates, but those 2 municipalities are essentially rural, just as Hlabisa and Big Five False Bay are rural as well. So you mesh 2 rural municipalities to form a rural municipality, and that was the outcome. If you look at an indicator that says how much is owed to these municipalities by consumers, Chairperson, you can see that of the splits, Mhlatuze has a high debtors book, and it has come down slightly from 569 in 16-17 to 544 million in 18-19. But that is not material. eThekwini has grown from 7 billion in 16-17 to about 10 billion, in fact, to about 11 billion, almost 11 billion in 2018-2019. But in the case of eThekwini, you can't really argue that that has anything to do with the split or the part that they took from Vulamehlo. Hardly, Chairperson. It's a function of other factors that exist in eThekwini that have led to the growth of that debt from 7.3 billion to about 10.9 billion, Chairperson. And if you look at the merged municipalities, Nkoslang Albalele has come down from 153 to about 140 million. And part of that money is owed to Eskom. And I will just show just now that they have actually done well in terms of reducing the Eskom debt. On the other hand, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is increasing consistently from 38 million to 49 to 50 million now. Reinkonyeni is also increasing from 81 to 229 to 274. And in the case of Reinkonyeni, yes, you could argue that it's in relation, or it has to do in part, at least, with the merger. The same thing with Alfred Duma, which grew from 63 million in 2016, 2017 to about 406 now that is owed. And again, you could argue that in the case of Alfred Duma, it has to do with the merger to some extent, even though there are other factors that are at play. Chairperson, you would know that we are required to monitor municipalities using the back to basics approach. And the following report looks at briefly at the outcomes of the back to basics assessments that were done in 2019, 2020. Across all these municipalities, Chairperson. I'm not going to go through each one of these slides in detail, but I'll highlight just certain aspects. The weakness of this back to basics approach that we are using, Chairperson, is that sometimes municipalities take their own time to submit information to us as a department, and only to find that we conclude our assessment without that information, and it would then give them a red or a yellow score, when in actual fact on the ground it is not like that. Then if we start with Umdoni, Umdoni recently has no mayor. The last time I checked, they had no mayor. I'm not sure whether the mayor was appointed recently. The colleagues will remind me. But they also have suspended their municipal manager for allegations of misconduct. It's a recent development. If you look at their back to basics score as at end of Q4, you will see that they were beginning to show signs of distress, Chairperson, in that you have too many yellows, one red and two reds and no green. Which is an indication that they were moving towards being distressed. If you look at Reinkonyeni, the jury is still out there whether the economies of scale are working for the wards that were inherited from, if you like, from Ezingoleni, the 7 wards. So if we are inquiring into this issue, we need to look at that, Chairperson, not only as the portfolio committee, but also as a department. We believe that there should be an evaluation process that looks at to what extent were these processes successful and beneficial to the communities that they were meant to benefit at the end of the day. However, Reinkonyeni is a big municipality, and it is able to render services much more effectively than Ezingoleni would have been able. If you look at back to basics, Q4, it's a mixed bag in that they have 2 greens, 2 reds, and 1 yellow. 2 reds, and the overall score is yellow. But these reds, again, are largely because the municipalities were not able to submit information, particularly because of issues of lockdown and COVID. Inkosilang Albalele, on the one hand, is the only municipality that is merged and is under Section 139 of the Constitution, Section 139(1)(b) of the Constitution, Chairperson. Because of the issues that had prevailed at that municipality, and the Provincial Executive Council resolved at the end of 2018 that it was necessary to intervene at this municipality in order to try and turn it around. And they have since taken quite some important measures in trying to reduce costs, in that, for instance, they have not filled the post of deputy mayor, which was full-time. All the councillors had that were full-time were then changed to become part-time, so that you are saving on costs. They have reduced security costs as well. They have also reduced substantially the amount they are owing to Eskom from 100 and I'll come back to the slide just now, but they reduced it from 132 million at the start of the intervention to about 13 million. In fact, this number of 13 million is even lower now, because when we prepared this presentation about 3 weeks ago, it was 13 million. They have since paid Eskom, so this amount is lower. The other exercise that had started in Inkosilang Albalele, which has not happened in any other municipality in the province, was the Section 189 process, Section 189 of the Labor Relations Act, which was an attempt to reduce the number of employees. And after intense negotiations, which were facilitated by the CCMA, in the end, it was agreed that it would not be in the best of interest of the municipality, the employees, and the community to reduce the number of employees, but rather to put a hold on the increase in salaries for 3 years. And this municipality is the only municipality in the province that has successfully applied to the bargaining council to be exempted from increasing salaries. And that exemption has been granted. So they have not increased salaries. Naturally, the unions are not happy about this position and are challenging it in every way possible. However, it's in the best interest of the municipality, and the information at the disposal of the department indicates that they will have paid all the creditors that they were owing at the beginning of the intervention, which was more than 72 million rand, excluding Eskom. They will have paid those by the end of this year, Chairperson. Again, when you look at their back to basics assessment, it's a mixed bag of green and yellows. And again, we think that this is largely to do with the fact that there was COVID. Alfred Duma is doing well, Chairperson, overall. Of course, there are issues like in any other municipality, and the MEC recently instituted a Section 106 investigation at that municipality because there were serious allegations of maladministration, fraud, and corruption. That investigation will be tabled in the municipal council very soon, and the MEC has insisted that municipalities should implement the findings and the recommendations flowing from these investigations, Chairperson. If you look at the back to basics, again, it's a mixed bag of green and red. And here it's largely because they had not submitted information. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, they perform much better. Big Five Hlabisa is, as I indicated earlier on, they somehow regressed from an unqualified audit opinion, and the department has employed experts who are looking into those matters. Chairperson, the other issue which I indicated earlier on is the increase in employee costs, which is a matter also that is being investigated by the department. Again, they've not performed very well in terms of back to basics, and we believe the reasons are the same. Umhlatuze is a consistently good performer in this province, Chairperson, and we do not have much to complain about in that municipality. It is a water services authority in its own right, unlike other local municipalities, Chairperson. So it's still struggling naturally to supply water and sanitation in rural wards, including the wards that were taken over from Ndambanana. But if you look at their back to basics score, it's quite a pleasing score, Chairperson. Tonjaneni, on the one hand, is also a municipality that tends to perform well. They were able to reduce their ESCOM debt. They are one of the municipalities that had finished their ESCOM debt and are now focusing on paying the current account. The performance in terms of back to basics is really not reflective of this municipality, and we think that it's because of lack of information which would have been supplied to the department to conclude the assessment. This municipality of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was at some point put under intervention because it was showing signs of distress, and councillors were at each other's throats, and there was instability, political instability that eventually had an impact on governance in that municipality. But here, the intervention did achieve the intended outcomes. The municipality has been stable since then, and the municipality is also a consistent performer, as shown by the audit outcomes and the fact that they have a good cost coverage ratio. And again, here, in terms of their back to basic score, we think that it's because they did not submit all the information. Not that the information is not there, it is there, Chairperson. In conclusion, we just want to indicate that we believe that the measures are important. The number of municipalities in this province remain high. At 54, it's the highest, and there are municipalities such as Bofana which remain not viable, and they remain good candidates for disbandment in the long run, Chairperson. And we think that when such processes are undertaken, they should be undertaken over a long period of time, and proper due diligence should be undertaken. The question was whether, therefore, as a province, we support these measures. Yes, the province, as I indicated at the beginning, supports these measures. Was the transitional grant adequate? No, it was not. The municipalities got far less than what they had requested from National Treasury, which we think that had an impact on the transitional activities that had to be undertaken. Were the grants adequate that were given to these matched municipalities? No. You will have seen, Chairperson, in one of the slides that there was in actual fact a reduction in the income of these municipalities, just like in other provinces. And I'm glad that National Copter is looking into that matter. Chairperson, that is the end of my presentation, and I believe that my principals, the DDG, the HOD, and the MEC may want to add, and they are at your mercy. Thank you very much, Chair.
Can you remove the slides from the screen, Mr. Duma? Thank you so much. Any addition? Any addition from the seniors of Mr. Duma?
Honorable Chair, I do not have.
The HOD doesn't, or the DDG doesn't have any addition. Any addition from the mentioned municipality, because I don't want them to make further presentations, because I think your presentation, Mr. Duma, extensively covers everything. Then the support structure from municipalities will be able then to respond to questions as raised by members. Who is Lula Mile?
Yes, Chair.
Who's Lula Mile? Can you identify yourself and tell us where are you from?
I'm from Umhlatuze, Chair.
What do you do in Umhlatuze?
I'm the municipal manager.
Okay, you want to add something?
No, I wanted to say, Chair, we concur with the report that COGTA has given. We are dealing with the challenges of Ntambanana, the areas that have been incorporated into our own municipality. Challenges are manageable, Chairperson. There are no major issues that we can report on this forum. Thank you very much.
Okay, Umhlatuze has concurred. Is there anyone from any municipality who wants to raise something as well? I see Joy Krishna from KZN Cooperative. You want to add something? Your hand is up.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, good evening and good evening to the members, the MEC and colleagues. Chair, I just wanted to add in terms of the costs and the motivation.
Chair, I don't hear her. I don't know if it's me only.
Either do I hear her too, Chair?
Chair, Chairperson, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Who else can hear the speaker?
We can hear her now, Chair.
Proceed. She can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we just want to contextualize when we say that there needs to be national funding for the process. I think in KZN, we are clear that many of these municipalities are probably no better or no worse off than they originally were. Given the fact that in KZN in 2000, we had 21 new municipalities that were established from nothing. And Ntambanana and Vulameshlo were two of those municipalities, but they were built up over the period of time. And then with the split and the mergers, you know, there was not such a significant lapse. But the issues that really required funding in this process, and in respect of which we as a province had made very strong motivation, but we did not receive adequate funding for, were around particularly the pay parity issues. Because bear in mind, we got a transitional grant for 3 years, but pay parity issues continue thereafter. And the equitable share did not adjust accordingly as was indicated. There were also significant costs around operating systems, valuation roles, the actual process of consultation, community participation, and communication was also an extremely costly exercise that was not funded entirely through the grants that were received. The major cost was on the financial and accounting side for the asset revaluation processes and the accounting treatment of all of those things. So I think we learned some significant lessons around what are those cost drivers. And we will be in a better position clearly to say, you know, in any merger, it's not just a matter of bundling everything together and somehow finding a little bit of money to do this. There are significant costs associated with it, but I think in the long term, there are definitely benefits. The case of Nkosi Langali Balele, the audit outcome is really just a legacy issue, which we are addressing with the Auditor General now. It's the fact that the former Umchezi had a disclaimer, and now we've got to deal with those legacy issues. So we've already engaged, as indicated by Mr. Duma, we should see an improvement in the audit outcome. And Chair, I think those would just be the additions. On the grant dependency, Ntambanana and Vulameshlo were 99% and 98% grant dependent at the time. And if you look at the municipalities that absorbed them, they are nowhere near those kinds of levels of grant dependency. So it has worked, but there are limitations that need to be addressed holistically by the collective government. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the municipality who wants to add anything, or you are all adequately covered? Then you will be able to respond on questions that are direct to you as the municipalities. Can I see a show of hands from members who want to interact with the presentations? Members of Parliament. I've seen Honorable Keza. Honorable Keza. On the raised hand screen, there's no one raising. Kalipi. That's far as the two of you. Did I omit any other member? So that's far it's only the two. Can I allow Honorable Keza to be the first one to start?
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think the first problem that we're going to have is this thing of merging municipalities that are really not as financially sound. And as I have spoken to this particular book, Chairperson, the Division of Revenue Bill, which then says that the value allocated depends on the size of the municipality, the low income population, the cost of the basic service, and the municipality's capacity to raise its own municipality, which is almost an incentivized dangling the carrot kind of situation, wherein you are rewarded according to your size and so forth, and which brings us to the fact that those municipalities it's not that as small as they are not able to generate. They do generate income, but then what the challenge that they then face is the portions that they receive from national treasury, which are not the same, which then influences how the patterns of development and service delivery to the people is. And even in the situation such as the amalgamation, wherein you amalgamate the rural municipalities that are put in a state of rurality, because our view is that rural development does not mean that municipalities must not, because of the division of the revenue formulae, must then be developed only in the state of to be trapped in the state of rural rate of the municipalities. And so this is what we are learning here in this presentation, that we have to change the patterns of funding municipalities, as we are proposing that they are at the cold space of none of us are living in the provinces. None of us are living in those districts, and yet where you find us living, there's no adequate funding, even to the extent of the amalgamated municipalities. And so we have to think afresh if we are to realize the outcomes of these amalgamations, the positive outcomes, as it were. And the second one, Chair, probably the last one, should relate to the seemingly deliberate act of putting the MPECs at a state of dysfunctionality, because where they cannot ensure accountability and good governance. I just want to ask the question from Salka. What role is it that they have played, conducted in terms of conducting proper training, so that there's no chopping and changing of staff that we have seen? There are sustainable measures in place to ensure that those people understand legislation, they understand the financial processes, so that we do not see such issues pertaining to financial mismanagement and so forth. So then, Chair, I think that we are also seeing Big Five Shabisa in 2016 with audit outcomes with unqualified emphasis on the meta items, and then we see in 2017 qualified, and then we see 2018-19 qualified, and it doesn't seem to bring in confidence with regards to that particular municipality. And Chairperson, the question remains whether there are positives or not that we can take out of this, apart from some municipalities that have really held their own. And the question that should be asked is whether the positives are drawn in the amalgamated municipalities or not. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Plaza. Can I afford Honorable Mkalipi an opportunity to raise issues as well?
Thank you very much, Chair.
Because literally I've noted you as well. You'll come after Honorable Mkalipi. I see your hand, it's up. Okay. Sorry, Mkalipi, you can proceed now.
Okay, thanks very much, Chair. I think I'm partly covered by my Honorable Member Ceza and some of the issues that he raised. Nevertheless, Chair, I just want to get a clarity in terms of the presentation that was made here. Particularly, I think it was Vulamehlo, whereby we were told in the presentation that the organogram is polluted. As a result, they are applying Section 189. I just want to get a context on that one, Chair. I know Section 189 in terms of the Labor Relations Act, it also give a guidance in terms of between the employer and the employee. But according to Section 189, maybe I'll be clarified. And Chair, I know that you also going to clarify me because we have an interest on Labor Relations Act. But I'm just puzzled to say that the municipality can just go and use Section 189 because it's, according to this section of the LRA, it's a dismissal based on operational requirements. And basically it talks to a company who's making a profit. And the company says that, now I'm stuck, I can't make any profit, so therefore I need to take some of my employees to lay them off. But when it comes to municipality and the government, we don't have to apply some other means and ways if we face some with challenges, because one of the reasons, and we know all of us as members of parliament, as MEC, as HOD, that one of the reasons, as the presenter from COCTA KZN, he said here, the unions are fighting, they are not taking it slightly. If I was a union as well, I was not going to accept that, because I know one of the reasons is because of corruption that is taking place in municipalities. And those workers, they are working there, they can see what is happening. That is one of the reasons. But just to come and be told that, no, now we have to retrench workers on the basis of the operational requirements, it's not going to be very easy just to accept, Chair. So if it can be taken to be elaborated on those bases in terms of applying Section 189, I'll be very happy. And the other point that I want to check, Chair, also according to the presentation, we were told here that a consultation in terms of public consultation were made. And if I remember very well, Chairperson, we were discussing in Mpumalanga, and people were raising issues to say that since my ward is no longer under Bushbuck Ridge, is under this region, I'm not having a joy as a resident of Ward 46 and Ward 43. I can't remember exactly what is happening. So I'm trying to get a sense if there's a public participation in terms of consultation, what is the COCTA or the municipality seeks to achieve? Just to consult with communities to be told that, no, listen, we have decided that now we have to split this municipality. We are not going to belong to this municipality. We are going to belong to this one. And what do you seek to achieve by telling people just to accept? Or if those people, they said, no, I don't agree, I just want to belong to this municipality because of 1, 2, and 3 reasons. We have a lot of concerns after the amalgamation have done or the split have done in terms of our citizens. So maybe we can be told here, Guti, what is the purpose of public participation? What do we seek to achieve? Or it's just a rubber stamping and come to the committee to present that, no, in fact, we have consulted with citizens of particular municipality. The third question, Chairperson, I just want to get a clarity. What was the total budget allocation to support the incorporation of Vulamehlo local municipality to Mdoni? Was there any due diligence study in this regard? And what was the recommendation in terms of budget? As Ufaita was alluding to the fact that we can discuss this thing, but as long as the modeling of the financing municipalities is not changing, we're not going to get another different result, because everything revolves on the financial side of and the resources of the whole processes. Slide 10 of Umdoni reports, Chair, depicts increased performance trend from 2017 to 2018 to 2019, 2020 since amalgamation with Vulamehlo. But slide 12, on the contrary, indicates that post-amalgamation performance has deteriorated. So which one is correct according to the presentation that we received here? Slide 10 and slide 12. So there is a confusion, if you can be clarified on those two. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mkalipi. Can I hand over to Honorable Inkosi.
Thank you, Chair. Although my question were taken by the honorable members who spoken before me, but I would like to get and a clarity, especially ezingolweni, ezinqoleni, and uvulamehlo. I believe that there are some structures which were built there by the department before. What is happening at this present moment? Secondly, about the youth at Ezinqoleni, those people were having a youth offices in Ezinqoleni so that they can learn something like typing, and then also emailing. Because what I heard from them is that those offices are no longer there. And then even the equipment, like trucks, tractors were taken away to Potchefstroom. And how the Reinkonyeni service that area with the tractors who are living in a long distances. I think from Potchefstroom to Ezinqoleni, it's almost about 20 to 30 kilometers. Is still existing, whether the people are still getting the service out of Ezinqoleni. Thirdly, it's the licensing of cars were done by Ezinqoleni before, and testing ground. Is that still exist or not? And the last question is about the 34 million rand, sorry, the 34 million rand, which before the prior to amalgamation were divided amongst the councillors, whether the department knows about it, what is their position? If the government don't know about that 34 million rand, is there any consequence management on that issue? At this present moment, let me waive my rights, Chair. Sometimes I will come and do a follow-up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Lutuli. On my side, I've got these few questions, MEC and colleagues. The first one is about the rationale for transferring 60% of Vulametlo's equitable share to Umdoni, considering that the municipality took over 60% of Vulametlo's ward during the amalgamation process. I think DCOC will be best placed to deal with this one. The other issue that I wanted to ask, why was there only consideration of anticipated benefits of the amalgamation? Why was there no consideration of the potential costs, such as the bloated organograms that actually work against the goals of the amalgamation? We have seen the slide on the staff costs above the norm. It's a worrying factor to all of us. And then, as indicated in the province report, Inkosi Langalibalele has been receiving disclaimed and adverse audit opinion over the last 3 financial years due to unresolved previous year findings from the former Umchizi local municipality. What is the COGTA's financial expert doing differently to improve audit outcomes for 2019-20? Where was the financial expert during the last 3 financial years? So those are the concerns and questions we have as members of parliament. Let's hear the responses from the affected municipalities, the provincial COGTA, and then the MEC will definitely be the last. Then the COG will come before the MEC, and the MEC will be the last to speak. So affected municipalities, as the questions arises, it's Vula Metro. We want to hear your input. Also, the other municipality that we need to hear is Inkosi Langalibalele. Also, the Umdoni municipality must also respond to these issues, and any other affected municipality. Can I see who wants to start first from the municipality sides? This up. You'll introduce yourself. I'm seeing you on the platform. I think you want to respond. And some of you who can raise the hand from the platform, you can always shout. Can I hand over to Mr. Mbili?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. This is Max Mbili, the Municipal Manager of Renkonye Municipality. I would want to greet you and all honorable members of parliament, our honorable MEC and colleagues, and I want to observe protocol in order to save time. Chairperson, I would want to respond to issues raised by Honorable Inkosi Lutuli, which were related to Renkonye municipality. Chairperson, in terms of structures that were built before, I must say, if you go to a former Ezingolweni municipality or Ezingolweni, those offices which were used by the former Ezingolweni municipality are being used as a satellite office for the new municipality, Renkonye municipality. So they are not neglected. If you go there today, you will find that traffic services is found there. They are using those offices. Firefighters are found there, and other services which have been decentralized to former Ezingolweni municipality. So those structures are effectively used by Renkonye municipality. Then going to youth office, Chair, I must say, if you look at Potchefstroom as our headquarters as a Renkonye municipality, then if you count the number of kilometers from Potchefstroom to Ezingolweni, you take number of kilometers maybe from Potchefstroom to KwaMadlala or KwaXolo or KwaNzimagwe, you will find that you have similar number of kilometers. So it is not possible for Renkonye municipality to have offices, youth offices in all these areas. But the approach that we are using, our youth office is based in Potchefstroom, but in terms of programs, At the youth office officials, they go to clusters. Ezinqoleni is one of the cluster. We called them a cluster one. We've clustered those wards. We called them cluster one. So programs are taken from Potchefstroom to Ezinqoleni, where young people of Ezinqoleni live. So they enjoy services that they enjoyed before. They also enjoy services that are being enjoyed by young people of former Hibiscus Coast municipality. As we speak, we do have the youth council. That youth council comprises young people from all 36 wards of the municipality. So services that were offered before by the former municipalities are still offered to both former Ezinqoleni and former Hibiscus Coast municipality. With regards to tractors that were taken to Potchefstroom, Chairperson, I must say, in terms of services, as a result of the merger, Renkonyane municipality has extended the services that were not available at Ezinqoleni municipality. For example, law enforcement, there were no traffic officers at Ezinqoleni municipality. We have made that service now available at Ezinqoleni municipality. Then in terms of firefighting, it was partially available at Ezinqoleni. Now we have a fully fledged fire and safety services provided by Renkonyane municipality. In terms of veg maintenance, it was not available. It is now available. In terms of street cleaning, so we are saying taking tractors or whatever equipment from a satellite to a headquarters does not mean that services are not rendered to a former Ezinqoleni municipality. We still provide more than what people of Ezinqoleni were enjoying. If I may say, Chairperson, in terms of this merger between former Hibiscus Coast municipality and Ezinqoleni, the beneficiary of the merger is former Ezinqoleni municipality residents, because nothing new has been given to former Hibiscus Coast municipality residents, only former Ezinqoleni residents who have benefited out of the merger. Because they were, former Ezinqoleni municipality had only 6 wards before the merger. Hibiscus had 29. Former Ezinqoleni had less than 100 million budget. Hibiscus had more than 900 million. So where I stand, Chairperson, if I was in a position to advise for former Ezinqoleni and former Hibiscus, we wouldn't have had a merger. Former Hibiscus should have absorbed Ezinqoleni, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have spent a lot of money in terms of rebranding for the new municipality and all other related costs that were as a result of the merger. Now, Chair, going to the license office at Ezinqoleni, to my knowledge, Chairperson, Ezinqoleni had never had a license office in Ezinqoleni. They still not have, but we're in a process of decentralizing a license office to Ezinqoleni, but they never had, even before. They were using Potchefstroom, they were using former Hibiscus. This is one of the reasons why these 2 municipalities had to be merged, because former Ezinqoleni residents, in most cases, were using a Potchefstroom for all services. So the Honorable Inkosi, we will have to do his research there. The information is not factual in terms of the license office for former Ezinqoleni. On the 34 million, what is happening there? Chairperson, it is 35 million, not 34. It is 35 million. What happened to Chairperson here? Before the merger, the former Ezinqoleni municipality decided to utilize an amount of 35 million before the merger, a few months before the merger. What then happened? The AG identified for the audit of 15-16, AG identified irregular expenditure of 20 million. Now, remember, in terms of the audit outcome, it would be given by end of November. At the time when this audit outcome was given at the end of November, already while 20 million was spent by end of June, they had spent another 15 million, which equated to 35 million. Now, as a requirement, as a new municipality or as a of Renkonyan municipality, remember that we had to come up with AG finding action plan. We had to now investigate this 35 million, which was identified as irregular expenditure. We then, I appointed my internal audit manager to investigate. Then we realized that the matter was complicated. We then wrote it to COGTA saying, COGTA, can you give us assistance in this regard? Because as the municipality, we were not in a position to conclude on this investigation, given the magnitude of the investigation. Then COGTA assisted us. COGTA conducted that investigation. Investigation came back in 2018. Part of the recommendations was to open a criminal case for a criminal investigation, which I did, Chairperson, as an accounting officer. Where we are now, the municipality implemented all the recommendations that were within our reach as the municipality. Now, only two outstanding matters. One is a civil matter where we have to take assets of those who are implicated. Secondly is the criminal part of the investigation, which was then handed over to Hawks. Hawks dealt with the matter. Then Hawks came back to us early this year before a lockdown. COGTA said to us, the investigation that was conducted by COGTA cannot be used in court. That investigation can only be used for internal disciplinary hearing, but it cannot be used in court. They then said to us, they would want us to appoint an independent forensic company to do this part of the criminal part. As we speak, Chairperson, that investigation is on. In terms of the Gantt chart, it will be concluded by the end of March next year, where we will then know about where or who benefited from this 35 million. So I'm optimistic, Chairperson, that as a municipality working with COGTA, there will be results out of the investigation that is being done by the independent forensic company working with Hawks. But all recommendations that were given to us were disposed by the municipality. That is where we are, Chairperson, as the municipality. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mayor. Can I recognize the Mayor of Inkosi Ilanga Livelele? Then they will be followed by, yes, there's PS Mukize who wrote himself SMM. I think he will deal with the introduction when he speaks. Can I first allow the Mayor of ILM to speak?
Thank you, Chairperson. I'd like to greet you, Honorable Chairperson, the honorable members of the committee, as well as the MECs.
If you can sit a bit up, the only thing, we don't see your chin. It should be a cell phone you're using. There you go. That's better, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. And also my colleagues, the mayors and MMs, the protocol is observed. I am Jabumpele, the mayor of Inkosilangali. I like to take through the sitting on the bloated organogram. It is us as Inkosilangali who was having the bloated organogram, only because we are having so many employees from both former municipalities, that is Umjezi and Imbabazane. So that caused us the bloated organogram. And again, we were having so many contractual workers whom their hopes were very high that they will be permanent one day. So all those things caused. Yes, Chairperson, I'm done.
You're still
Mr. Mkize
talking.
will elaborate.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Mkize is your municipal manager, ne?
Yes.
Is the municipal manager of ILM, ne?
Correct.
Mr. Mkize, Shosho, can I hand over to the MM?
Honorable Chair, honorable members of Parliament, honorable mayors amongst us, honorable MEC, thank you very much for this opportunity.
To the center
Chair,
of the frame. Can you come to the center of the frame, MM? To the center. Come to the center of the frame.
Okay.
That's better. Come to your.
Oh.
Should be your yes. There. That's better.
I'm sorry about that, honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, thank you very much.
Behind the MM? Are there two people on the camera?
No, he's using a picture. That is his picture. That is background.
Oh, okay.
It's him now wearing a red t-shirt as if he was coming to a soccer game, though it's a formal committee meeting. You can see that, eh? Maybe that's the reason why he's slanting the other side. But proceed, MM.
I'm sorry about that, honorable Chair. One did not know about this meeting until late. We're coming from another meeting with our honorable MEC. I'm sorry about that. Honorable Chair, maybe one wants to comment. By the way, I'm the municipal manager of Inkoslang Albalele municipality. I would like to comment on certain issues that have been raised here by the committee. Firstly, one wants to appreciate the effort that was made by our government to try and make sure that the municipalities that are seen not to be viable financially, they are then incorporated or merged to those who are seen to be maybe having financial muscle in terms of the revenue that they had the potential to collect. But along the way, I would, my observation, Honorable Chair, is that maybe there wasn't much exercise to check in terms of the challenges that each municipality was facing. For an example, in the municipality that I inherited after 2017, one realized that there was a lot of challenges. For example, when one came to act in that particular municipality, there was a lot of strikes that were taking place, which means that there was no stability in the municipality as such. And one reason for that was the fact that there were people who have been appointed as contracts on a number of years. Honorable Chair, you will recall that there was an amendment of the Labor Relations Act in 2014. I will, if I'm not mistaken, in section 18, where it stated that the employers were no longer allowed to appoint people for more than a certain period of years, unless that employment was linked to a particular project. So what happened is that because there had been some employees who had been appointed as contracts and which exceeded the period in which the employers were allowed to appoint those particular employees. It became then a legal issue. There was a litigation, in fact, that started with the other municipality, which is Imbabazane, where the employees won. They were given an award and they had to be appointed. Now, the new Inkostangalbale municipality faced the same scenario where the employees from former Umjezi, they also threatened to go to the bargaining council. What the municipality did then was to seek advice from the specialists, especially the SALCAS. There's a panel of SALCAS specialists in KZN, where they were advised that, in fact, the practice of the municipality of having appointed these employees for longer periods, it had created an expectation for those employees to be employed permanently. So with that, coupled with the fact that there was a lot of unrest which was caused by that uncertainty, then the municipality decided to absorb those workers, of which there were about 153. That then led to the bloated, or maybe the so-called bloated organogram, which then led to the escalated salary budget that caused a lot of, or it added to the challenges in terms of the cash flow that was facing the municipality then. And again, that was also compounded by the fact that the municipality had not paid a number of its creditors for a number of years, including ESCOM. Also, there was a parity issue in the sense that when these two municipalities merged, there was another municipality that was paid salaries that were far much higher than the other municipality. So this meant that the workers were doing the same job. There would be a huge difference in terms of their salaries. So council decided that in order to bring stability in the municipality, I've indicated prior to the fact that there were strikes almost in every month because of these issues that were caused by the merger of these two municipalities. So I think another mishap that took place was the fact that the job evaluation, it took longer to be finalized, although the merged municipalities had been promised that the process of job evaluation will be fast-tracked so that it will be easier to determine the salaries that will be earned by those particular municipalities. And again, when the two municipalities merged, there was an expectation that the grade of the municipality will then be determined so that councillors, employees, they will know the new grade, and that thing took a long time to materialize. So those challenges, coupled with the fact that there was a terrible state of the finances of the municipality, where at some state there was one of the companies that threatened to attach the account of the municipality. It then led to instability. But one must appreciate the fact that the COGTA, they did a positive intervention to the municipality. And one, from where I sit, I can say that one is considering the fact that in future, should there be any measures, one would recommend that all the municipalities that are facing the challenges, those challenges are cleared prior to the measure, so that the new municipality will be given a chance to try and put new systems into the municipality instead of trying to clear the challenges that exist. But lastly, Chair, is the issue of equitable share. And I think that has been discussed prior to this. And I think one must add to that basket that, you know, when the municipalities emerged, the equitable share dropped tremendously. And that also had a huge impact. This municipality is, although there's few towns, but it is a rural municipality. And it when you come from Loskop up to the end of the municipality, it is close to 100 kilometers. And that has got an impact into the plant of the municipality. It's got an impact into the movement of officials and so on and so on. And it has escalated the cost of bringing the services into the municipality. I will then support the call that says these municipalities, they needed more money so that they would be able to start from a positive note. With those words, I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, MM. I think from the municipality side, I've exhausted my speakers list. Can I then hand over to Provincial COGTA? Whoever wants to respond, starting from Mr. Duma and the DDGs, and ever want to respond to the issues as raised by MPs. I've noted that the MEC's battery has died. As the MM is saying, is saying, they were coming from the meeting together. So he connected while he was in transit. He's trying to reconnect using another gadget if he will manage. So we shouldn't think that the MEC is absconded from the meeting. They will advise me further if he is already reconnected, but then can allow the team from KZN COGTA to respond to the issues as raised by MPs. Can I see, you can shout to say, Chairperson, if you can raise your hand on the gadget, because I don't see anyone of you raising their hands on the gadget. Can I hand over to COGTA KZN?
Chairperson, it's Mr. Duma.
Okay.
I think that, Chairperson, the questions were directed in the main to the affected municipalities. And
can you put your video on, Mr. Duma? Sure.
Chair, I was saying that questions were directed in the main to the affected municipalities, but there are a few questions that were directed at COGTA. You yourself, Chairperson, you asked where was the financial expert over the past 3 years at ILM. I think Ms. Krishnan is still here. If she could talk to that question, Chairperson, with your permission.
Okay, go. I'll do
it. Joey?
Good evening, Chairperson. Thank you, Mr. Duma. I think there were a few questions that related to financial management around the process. The particular one related to financial modeling that had been done in respect of Vulameshlo and Umdoni. You will recall that Vulameshlo was split between Umdoni and eThekwini municipality. eThekwini did not receive any funding allocation from the National Treasury in respect of the portion that was taken through to Vulameshlo. The only transfers that we made were in relation to MIG funding that were for specific projects. The majority of the municipality then went to Reinkonyeni, and that is the reason why the funding followed to that municipality. The issue, sorry, to Umdoni. The model for the financing, Chairperson, I must say, we had gone through extensive lengths as COGTA prior to the merger to look at the budgets of these municipalities, to look at the cost of operations, to look at the implications of the merger, and to develop combined budgets even before the municipalities were actually merged. Their budgets had been combined and these costings had been done. And we had made input to the National Treasury in this regard for the funding, but the funding didn't follow. So we had done to, at our level, at a provincial level, we had certainly done the financial modeling. The same happened in respect of the split with Ntambanana, for example. It was split between Umhlathuze, Umtonjaneni, and Mfolozi. But it was viewed as a minor boundary redetermination in the case of Mfolozi, despite the fact that they took on the largest number of staff. So, all of these representations were made by the province, but of course the funding did not follow. And as indicated by the municipalities and in the presentation, the equitable share adjustments were also not made in that regard. I think the comment made by the Honorable Schleza up front around the division of revenue and the actual equitable share formula, I think the committee should note that the formula was last adjusted in 2012. And we have gone 8 years on in terms of the state of local government. We've seen the mergers, we've seen the development patterns and the growth patterns. And I think the point about rural municipalities cannot be overemphasized. One of the major problems we have in KZN, particular to these merged municipalities, but also relevant to others, is the fact that the cost of services is not clearly understood. Our topography in KZN makes it far more expensive for us to deliver bulk services and to extend services in the province due to the settlement patterns as well, as has been indicated. So that is a factor that really, I think holistically, there needs to be a review of the funding model to local government as a whole. And there are conversations that are taking place with the National Treasury, National DCOG at Budget Council level around this matter. So that is something that I think remains work in progress, and the faster that as a collective we can resolve it, the better it will be for our municipalities and also then for the communities themselves. The COGTA efforts around the financial experts, Chair, you will appreciate that we have our own budgetary constraints as a department. So much of the work that we had done in these municipalities was with the internal resources of the department. And of course, we had a transformation manager, as indicated, that was appointed. And we worked with the municipal staff, the municipal CFOs, the accounting officers, through the various technical CMCs and sub-technical forums that were established in the process to deal with the matters. Our focus had really been in the case of ILM was to look at stabilizing the municipality. And as a result of some of the decisions that were taken, the financial situation worsened. We've gotten to a point now where we really believe that the municipality has done extremely well in terms of making good decisions. As Mr. Duma has said, there have been no councillor allowances. Councillors they've not had a full-time councillors. They've not had increases in their allowances. Staff increases had not been implemented through the bargaining council exemptions, and all of these things together with the Section 189 process. And the 189 process got to a point where it was either retrench, but Labour came to the fore and said, okay, fine, then we're willing to take a pay cut, because one thing that happened prior to the merger was the fact that the former Imbabazane municipality had increased their salaries outside of the scales. And that then happened, that then was perpetuated when Inkosi Langalibalele was merged when Imbabazane was merged with Umshezi, and the problem became compounded. And it was clearly illegal. And that is the reason why we went to the Section 189 process. And so sanity prevailed, and we were able to deal with it and curtail costs and deal with some of the issues around that. The Eskom debt was primarily from Umshezi as well. And this municipality started off with 104 million rands in debt. And this was around the middle of 2018. As we sit today, for a municipality that is considered at this point not to be financially viable, it has paid off that in excess of 90 million rands of that debt. And it will be debt-free by the middle of February. So it will be viable. It is viable. We believe that it can be done. On the disclaimer issue, look, there has been improvement. I mean, improvement from a disclaimer to adverse is not really great, but it is improvement nonetheless. And of course, it was all around the state of records. So we really could not improve that situation. We did third-party checks and reconstruction of records, but it's still not sufficient. And you'll know that the AG wants a complete set of records that's fully reconcilable with working papers. So we actually had an engagement with the AG this year to say to them, we are confident that in the current year, we have resolved all prior year issues. We have dealt with all alternative procedures to address the audit queries. And we believe that this should be our new baseline year as ILM. And they are busy in the audit process, and the prospects are looking good at this stage. So we have ongoing engagements with them. Part of the challenges were the integration of the systems and the M-score charts and so on as well. But I think though, and the migration of the data from two different systems to a single system. So all of those things took a bit of time for us to be able to resolve. I think the last question that I'll just comment on is around just impact dysfunctionality. I think Salga may add. But in KZN, we have spent a great amount of time and effort in terms of training and orientation of our councillors. At the commencement of their term of office, there was orientation, and we did this in conjunction with Salga, and then we conducted at least 3 sets of training, and we continue as COGTA every year to conduct training for councillors. We got to a point, as Mr. Duma said, that some of these technical aspects in financial management and investigations into UIFW are highly complex and technical, and therefore, sometimes even somebody with a degree not in finance may have difficulty understanding some of these aspects. So we are doing on-the-job training now, as has been indicated through our engagements with MPACs. And we have seen a significant decline in UIFW in the province in the last year, and we're hoping to improve on that. But part of the challenge also becomes the fact that if you look at the collective of councillors that are elected, The priority is given to the election of the mayor, the speaker, your deputy mayor, your members of the executive committee who chair your portfolio committees, and then those members who would sit on the portfolio committees. And then your MPAC is the last committee in respect of what councillors are nominated and elected by the council. And that systemically is a challenge. It's something that needs to be considered at a governance level, but also at a political level. Chair, I think we have covered all of the questions that have been raised in respect of finances. And I think we have covered all. I thank you for that.
Okay. DDG, you are covered as well, I suppose.
Thank you, Chair. I think my colleagues, both chief directors, have addressed all the issues, including the MMs. I think there's one issue probably that from Honorable Kalipi on what was the intended purpose for public consultation. I'm not sure whether Mr. Duma can respond, because this is a historical information, Chair. At that point, I was not with the department. That if one of my colleagues can address it, I think the last issue was the one raised by the chair, the anticipated benefits slide. If probably my colleagues can assist, because Chair, at that time, I was not with the department. Thanks, Chair.
Okay.
Otherwise,
okay. Mr. Duma?
Thank you, Chairperson. On the issue of public participation, Chairperson, is unfortunately not a science. So one cannot predict what outcome is one going to get at the end of the day. But if you look at what happened in Bafana, because the department had also attempted to split Bafana between Umgeni, Umvoti, and Impendle, because of intense public participation processes that were undertaken. Objecting to that process, the demarcation board eventually took a decision not to authorize that split. So the purpose of the public participation is exactly to solicit the views of the public on whether that split or a merger is warranted, or whether it will benefit the community. Whether that is what happens at the end of the day is a matter of ongoing inquiry, Chairperson. On the anticipated benefits, perhaps we could have put another slide that looked at the risks that were there. We didn't, but that does not mean that we did not look at the risks. We did look at the risks, Chairperson, and there were many. So some of the challenges that we encountered were anticipated. Of course, some of them were not anticipated. For instance, we could not anticipate the fact that ILM, as an example, was going to absorb so many staff members, thus impacting its budget. But we could have put that information. It's there, Chairperson. Perhaps we can supply that information to the committee in writing if it's felt that it's necessary. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So can it exhaust the responses from KZN, I suppose? Can we get the comment from COCTA on the issues as raised? Who's responding from COCTA side? Is it still you, Dr.
Yes.
Naidu?
Yes.
As always, the usual suspect. Okay.
I just want to make 4 points. So the first one, I think it's important to understand that of the 9 redeterminations that had taken effect on the date of elections on the 3rd of August 2016, 8 of them were actually confirmed by the Demarcation Board on the 15th of October 2015, and it did not form part of that process of COCTA making a request to the Demarcation Board to look at the redetermination of boundaries within the context of the Back to Basics program. It was just the one, Honorable Chairperson and members, which Mr. Duma had alluded to towards the end of his input, and which related to the moving, if I recall correctly, of the Cadham voting district from Moi Bufana to the Imvoti local municipality. So it was basically a very small kind of redetermination to avoid the splitting of that voting district. That's the first point. The second point is that now, it being the case that the Demarcation Board had confirmed sorry, not 2015, it was actually the 15th of October 2013 that those redeterminations were confirmed. That being the case, Honorable Chair and members, KZN had a head start, and they had immediately started establishing transition committees, developing terms of reference, etc., etc. So at National DCOG, we use them a lot to assist us, but also, Honorable Chair, to have a province-to-province sharing of information in relation to what KZN had already developed. I can recall that the colleagues from KZN had gotten over to Eastern Cape, I think, physically, as well as to Limpopo as well. I think there were even plans to go into Northern Cape and assist them as well. But I stand to be corrected on the actual province-to-province learning and sharing of information that had taken place. So the project monitoring that we had done, Chair, the alignment of the Section 14 notices, the Section 12 notices, the establishment of work streams to deal with legal matters, HR matters, institutional matters, etc., was mostly learning that we had garnered from the KZN province. The third point, Chair, is, and perhaps it's, I just went back through some of the information that I had, and it seems that, there was a total amount of 135 million rand that was made available through the MDTG, the Municipal Demarcation Transition Grant. And if we had to split it evenly between the 9 redeterminations, we're looking at an amount of 15 million rand per redetermination that was made available. So I just thought I'd make that point, but not to say that it was enough for the various transition-related matters that had to be taken care of. Fourthly, and the last point, and perhaps to also assist the colleagues in responding to the issue around community participation. I think in previous responses that I had made, Chair, I indicated that some provinces had adopted a motto, and I think the motto that KZN had adopted was "We are together." And for me, I think it was mostly because they wanted communities to be aware of where they could find themselves after the redetermination of boundaries actually took effect on the date of election. So not to wake up a day after the elections and, instead of being now in Moi Bufana, you found yourself in Voce municipality. So that was on the one level. But I think on another level, in terms of the legislated requirements that the demarcation board had to comply with, in terms of Section 26 of the Demarcation Act, the board would need to publish details of a proposed redetermination in the Gazette. And although it may not have been the ideal way of public participation or community engagement, that could have been seen as another kind of avenue to engage or get the citizenry aware of the impending changes. So that's my input, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Naidu. The MEC couldn't reconnect, I suppose, Dr. Duma.
Yes, Chair, he couldn't. I suppose he hasn't arrived where he was going to be able to charge his battery.
Same thing with the HOD, but at least there was a delegation of DDG. We are fine. I should think then we need to come to the end, unless the members, the two colleagues have got follow-up questions. Honorable Kleza, Honorable Mkalipi, and any other colleague who has got follow-up questions?
Yes, Chair.
Honorable.
Just a comment.
Okay, it's Honorable Mkalipi. Kleza, are you covered? I'll allow you, Honorable Mkalipi.
Thanks, Chair. I was listening to the mayor.
Yes, Chair, I'm covered. Thank you.
Okay, Kleza, thank you. Honorable Mkalipi, proceed.
Yes, Chair. I'm saying that I was listening to the mayor of Nkosazana Balele when she was explaining the decision of using Section 189 and the Ubabu Umkhize Ukubela. And when you're listening to Babu Kupela going to details in terms of applying Section 189, Chair, I think we must agree that I think it's wrongly applied this section, and that's why we have some problems regards to labours in those municipalities. Because when you listen to Babu Kupela saying that it's because there were people who were absolved, I don't know, the number was very high, 141 or 153, but they discovered that no, those people, when they were absolved because of the pressure the municipality found itself on it, therefore they had to apply Section 189 because those people, they were also in terms of Section 198 of the LRA. So I think that what is going to cause some problems in terms of dealing with the labor issues in municipalities if there is no other alternative, and then they just shoot straight to apply this Section 189. I still believe that if they can talk through and see and strategize in terms of they want to restructure the organogram, and they can still have some means and ways to avoid the retrenchment, as per the mayor was alluding to, say that no, in fact, they were trying to avoid the retrenchment. That is the comment that I have, Chair, in terms of that Section 189. And also, I think as a committee, Chair, we have raised this as a concern before, to say that at some point, when there is a labor unrest in municipalities, it has a direct effect in terms of the service delivery. And if the leadership of the municipalities, together with the HR, they must be very careful on how to deal with these matters. At the end of the day, when there is sort of when tools are down, when the workers, they decided to put their tools down, it also have a direct effect in terms of the service delivery. I don't know, Chair, we'll see, we'll monitor the situation and then we'll engage further. Thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to make that comment, and thanks for an honest, detailed report in terms of that concern that we raised. Thanks, Chair.
I should think, Honorable Mkalipi, this is a matter that it's of interest to all of us. And it's for the first time since the interaction with all the municipalities in the country that we are hearing this year. I think we need a further detailed report as we reconvene earlier in January on these matters, for them to come and share with us in detail all these processes. Because what you've heard from other municipalities, they rather have a bloated organogram or failing to place this, and then their labor dispute. Maybe they must share with us their best practice, because they are not talking to the labor dispute that arose out of that process. Because any process you decide to retrench people for operational requirements, as you're saying, there are processes that, or is it that they followed their processes to the latter, such that everybody, others volunteered to take severance package, just whatever. I think these are the details that we want a briefing on them, and it's one of its own kind colleagues from KZN. Maybe when we reconvene post the holidays, will still come and update us on these processes, to also to make sure that you are also not founding, because at the end of the day, we don't want you to have a lot of labor dispute and unrest, as Honorable Mkalipi has said that. And then the other issue that we want to appreciate you, KZN, you seem to be on top of things, because then in the nature of your presentation, the presentation was so detailed, so that you were able to see what's happening where. Like we've indicated, I think Mr. Duma said it rightfully, because when we interact, if you heard out of my opening remarks, there are instances wherein, out as a consequence of this amalgamation, majority of municipalities are dysfunctional. And then Salga had always tell us to say the problem at times is when you merge two graves, the issue of sustainability and the rest. So these are the matters that is a committee, and we're happy that the demarcation board, with regard to the oncoming election, there's no measures that are going to take place to that respect. So let's try to make whatever we have at our disposal, because reality, these things cannot be reversed. What is left is just for us to make these measures work. And then it's our collective responsibility, all of us, to make sure that where possible, where resources has to be given to municipalities, then Treasury must release this money. It's a pity Treasury is not here. At least they were there the first day, but they knew they had an obligation to come back to respond to certain issues as raised. So we'll try in the next year to make sure that we prioritize your issues again. Then we continue to have follow-ups meeting, so that whatever is outstanding gets attended to, because you can't spend the whole term addressing human resource issues, addressing issues that comes from the measures. When are some of these municipalities going to start working? So these are some of the issues that we need to forge ahead to continue to pursue. But I think I should thank you, Team KZN. It's a pity. We'll have loved to hear the MEC's concluding remarks on this note then, but we'll still engage in the new year. Definitely, we're not going to engage with you now. To again thank you, KZN team. During our visit in the province, you have been very helpful, the level of preparedness, and you have been with us throughout the oversight. It's a thing that we always forever appreciate. And then whenever we call you, we know there is a National Assembly of Salga. We indicated to all of you that we're mindful of that, but the beauty about it, we will have our meeting in the evening and you all came in numbers. We want to appreciate that. Can I release you to leave this meeting and I remain with the members of parliament to thank you, all of you, our guests. We've got a further business of the committee that we want to process quickly before we adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Thank you very much,
Thank
members
you,
of the
Chairperson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Pleasure is mine. Thank you. Leave colleagues from KZN and let me remain with my committee members and colleagues from DCOC. You must remain with us. MM of Doctors NDZ, leave the meeting, please. Lulamile, leave our meeting. Vezi, move. I'm expelling you now. Nkosi Yezwe Vezi, leave. May you please leave this meeting. Shirin, can I need your help now? Colleagues, there's a report that we need to adopt. Welcome, Mam Kize. I hope by now you are hearing us. We need to adopt the report. Can it be loaded? Is the supplementary budget review and recommendation report. You'll recall day before yesterday, we considered the annual report. The one that was outstanding was the annual report for the DCOC portfolio and the MISA. So then, given the circumstances, then we had to do a supplementary budget review and recommendation report. Then we have to adopt this report. Who's moving the slide? The background, you know, this is the usual stuff. Can you zoom to the actual matters that we need to process? The observations are as follows. 4.1, the Municipal Demarcation Board's performance during the year under review, including obtained 2 consecutive clean audits, is a good model of good governance and deserves the committee's recognition and commendation. Then the Municipal Demarcation Board's projected budget reduction over the medium is a concern. It has negative implications for the board. I think it's just editing the board's operational stability, not the board's, especially, can you correct that in relation to public participation? Then 4.3, there needs to be more clarity on the role of SALGA in relations to labor relation matters. The case in point we're dealing with earlier now. We don't hear what has been SALGA's role in assisting the municipality not to implement Section 189 of the LRA. A review of the Organized Local Government Act is necessary. It can't be, was necessary. As SALGA's over-reliance on membership fees is in jeopardy due to the dwindling financial base of most municipalities as a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can't put it in the past because it's still as it is. The funding allocation to the CRL Rights Commission is pitifully considering the magnitude of the Commission's mandate and needs urgent review. There's no great investment in the structure supposed to address the country's deep-seated problems of racism, which inevitably related to culture, language, which is inevitably related. There's an is that you omitted there, to culture, language, and religion. The abolishment of the group's areas admits the opportunity to deal with the issue of the zoning of land for religious purposes. Consequently, citizens are turning private residence into places of worship, which is engendering conflict amongst residents, especially in our CBDs and even the townships. The funding allocated for the National House of Traditional Leaders, the House of Traditional Leadership, is missing, falls short of the goal of reaffirming the role of the institution of traditional leadership as a key player in the cooperative governance. The committee must give credit to the Department of Traditional Affairs for the number of targets met, the delays in the proclamation of the Traditional and KZN Leadership Bill are worrisome as they perpetuate unfulfilled promises to the people. 4.10, there needs to be more clarity regarding the criteria for participation of the community work program as to enable traditional leaders and their communities to take advantage of the benefits deriving from the program. The committee is concerned with the apparent lack of appetite for consequence management in respect of the malfeasance perpetrated in the community works program. The lack of the promised detailed presentation on the remodeling of the community works program was disappointing. The committee had also requested details on the board of directors of the CWP non-profit organization and the detailed expenditure breakdown of the amounts disbursed to each NPO. This has also not been forthcoming. The credibility of the performance information on the community works program is limited due to the reduced scope of the audit resulting from the COVID-19 related constraints. It is also regrettable that during the year under review, National Treasury exempted the department from complying with the supply chain processes in relation to the CWP program until 31st March 2021, especially considering that the program has had a long track record of irregular expenditure amounting to hundreds of millions of rands. As the failure by the Department of Cooperative Governance to implement 100% of its 2018-19 post-audit action plan was inconsistent with the commitments made earlier in the year. While the financial performance of municipal infrastructure support agents is commendable, it has not yet translated to improved service delivery performance on the ground. So let's go down to recommendations. Recommendation number 1, the committee must use every opportunity to lobby and advocate for adequate funding to the CRL Rights Commission. Recommendation number 2, the CRL Rights Commission should guide municipalities in respect of the zoning of land for religious purposes. Recommendation number 3, the committee must have structured engagement with the CRL Rights Commissioners on a quarterly basis as to understand better the various work streams commissioners are leading. Recommendation number 4, in the next year, the committee must consider hosting a colloquium on male cultural initiation to address the challenges associated with the practice. 6.5, The committee must engage the National Treasury regarding the exemption of the community work program from supply chain management processes in terms of Section 9 of the Public Finance Management Act. Then the report is here submitted for consideration. Do we have any additions on the matters that we feel have been omitted, colleagues? Your silence to me means that you are compatible with the recommendations. Can I get a mover for the adoption and the seconder for the adoption of the report?
Chair, let me move, Chair.
And there's a mover in the name of Honorable Inko C.B. Lutuli.
Thank you, Chair.
Can I get a seconder? Can I get a seconder? Anyone who seconds? Then Honorable Direko have seconded the motion to adopt this report. Then the report is thus adopted. Thank you so much, colleagues. I want to thank you for this. And then I think the report will then be tabled to be 80 tomorrow. The other issue tomorrow, there's a directive from the House Chair. When we finish with Limpopo tomorrow, Shirin, can you then send all sets of minutes? I know you have been sending them bit by bit. Can you send the minutes so that the members during the sitting, during the day, they could be going through all sets of minutes that are outstanding? The only minutes that we are not going to adopt will be the minutes for tomorrow, including the minutes for today, so that tomorrow we adopt all outstanding minutes, as tomorrow is our last, tomorrow evening, it's our last working day, colleagues. Becky wants me to make an announcement. Honorable Kadeo wants to make me an announcement. I'll do it tomorrow. It's an announcement that he wants from me. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow as well. So can we go and rest? It's almost midnight. You need to be fresh for the house tomorrow morning and be fresh again for the committee meeting in the evening. Let me take this opportunity to thank you, colleagues. Your work commitment, it's so amazing. I think together we can make this country better. That's what we've been doing. And congratulations, colleagues, for the bill earlier. All your inputs were very constructive. And it's a milestone that we are heading towards. Let's hope our counterparts in the NCOP will also expedite the issues of public participation and giving concurrence for the bill. It's gonna be a very hectic year next year, because already I think the customer initiation bill is coming back to us from the NCOP. It has been consulted, then we need to finalize it. Let's go and sleep, colleagues. Good night. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much. Good night, colleagues.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,